It's my pleasure this morning to declare this program open as I welcome every one of you. In our midst this morning, we have special guests that have come all the way from Durban, South Africa. And I'd like to introduce our guests. They will be making some presentations to us this morning. We'll be having interactions and exchange of knowledge. But before then, I would like to present them to us, introduce them to us, and then a few other dignitaries that are here with us before the commencement of the program. I'd like to start with Professor O.O. Olubara. He is the Executive Dean. Please, you come up here. Later in the presentation, then you can move back, but you come to the high table. He is the Executive Dean of the Faculty of Accounting and Informatics at the Durban University of Technology, Durban, South Africa. Another one of applause. We also have with us here an erudite professor, a professor of professors, in person of Professor S.O. Ojo, is a professor of professor at the Durban University of Technology, South Africa. He's also there with us, We have with us here Dr. Anne Lana, also from the Durban University of Technology. She's also here. I like the combination. You see, they are all gender sensitive. They balanced, the gender thing. So, Lana, please join them. Yeah. Then we have with us also Ngeshini, also from the Durban University of Technology, South Africa. She's fixing some things with the technical people. She will join them up there. These are all our guests from South Africa. I'm here this morning, the Dean of the Faculty of Computing and Informatics, Professor Adeolu Afolabi, who is not currently here, but ably represented by the Deputy Dean of the Faculty. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Dr. Mrs. O.T. Adili. I'd like to also introduce, to join them on the high table, the head of the Department of Information System, who also is a member of the research team of the carbon literacy. She's here in the person of Professor Mrs. A.A. Bando. We have in our midst the HOD of Department of Computer Science, the mother of all departments, in person of Professor O.O. Adeolu. Please move forward. There are spaces from here. We have Dr. Mrs. E.A. Amusan of the Cyber Security Department. Yes, cyber. All right. Other HODs will join us later. They went for Senate meeting, but I think they are on their way back now. Okay, we have in our midst other lecturers from Computer Science Department, Information Systems. We have Dr. Isiaq. We have the Dr. Mrs. Abdusalam. Is it Rasidato? Okay. The lecturer in Information System. We have Dr. Mrs. I'm not saying that. Okay. Dr. Mrs. Okay. We also have Dr. CLGIE4YEJC, of Information System, also a member of the research group. And then, yes, others will be joining us. If you are here and I can't mention you, it's because I'm not seeing you clearly. And then we have students, both postgraduate and undergrad, of the departments of computer science, cybersecurity, and information systems, all represented here. Yes, first level guys.
Good morning, the professor seated, and especially our guests from the Carbon Tracing and Innovation Research Group from Government University South Africa. On behalf of the Dean of the Faculty, Professor Adioku Olabode Afolabi, I want to welcome you especially to the Faculty of Computing and Informatics, to Ladoke Akintola University of Technology, and to Oyo State by extension. We are glad to have you in our midst this morning. And before I move further, I would like to say that it's my prayer this morning that one of our professors here, some times back, taught me how to program, how to speak on the computer. You know, like I used to say to you, as computer don't understand our mother tongue. So there is a way to learn how to speak to it. And it's my pleasure this morning to have you, my Miss Professor Okugara. And it's my honor to say I'm one of the seed of your efforts there. And we still have, like Professor Justice rightly said, we have people scattered all over the globe doing exports and are also product of this great department of the great Department of Computer Science and Engineering and by extension of this faculty. So this morning we welcome all our senior curriculum HODs present, all professors present, and all our students present. And I believe that this is a special kind of workshop, and I don't want us to just take it like one of those things. It's an opportunity to drink from their words of wisdom and open us up to new research area. These days, computing has become applied sciences. So we are not limited by, I'm not an art student, I'm not social sciences, I'm not a faculty of agriculture. If it is computing, it is now applied everywhere. Like when he was being introduced the other time, said the Dean of Faculty of Accounting and Informatics. So that translates to the fact that being in Faculty of Computing, your research area, your research domain can be any of these fields, solving problems in every area. So someone may be thinking, why should I sit down for a workshop on green innovation or entrepreneurship and things like that? Computing is now applied sciences that any field, it is a must. Our presence is needed in any field. If at all, there is going to be everywhere. And permit me to go from the justice, like he says, one other time, one of our maybe one of the seminars we had some other time said, information is now the new oil, and which I believe everybody now understands the importance of data, the importance of informatics, the importance of data analytics, and virtually in all the fields, we now talk about computing being applied to solve the problem. So please, ladies and gentlemen, as we gather this evening, while welcoming us on behalf of the Dean of the faculty again, I want us to open up our mind and see areas where we can get into for research, for knowledge acquisition, for personal development, for innovations, and of course, you know, Nigeria at a point that we have to focus more on developing entrepreneurial skills from our students, learning to solve problems, and of course, computing is the tool that we can use. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Dean, I welcome us to this wonderful gathering, and I pray that we have such a wonderful experience.
Always very humble when asked to research institute. So I'm really very humble and privileged to be given this opportunity to speak in response to all the messages that we pass. Never University of Technology and University of Technology have commonalities. Both of them are University of Technology. And University of Technology to us in South Africa, we have 6 of them. Global University of Technology is still in terms of time span. And why we are University of Technology, and what makes us different from traditional university, is because we are practice-oriented, we are vocational training oriented, and we are skill-based learning oriented. And that's what makes us different from traditional university, which is more focusing on theory-based learning. The Faculty of Computing and Informatics at Lautern also has commonalities with Faculty of Accounting and Informatics. Both of them have informatics as commonalities. And that's why someone already said that informatics or ICT is in every discipline of life. And of course today, there's no boundary between discipline anymore. We normally speak about transdisciplinary research. Then the next thing I want to tell you is that research is not discipline-oriented. Most of the good research teams are transdisciplinary research group of different disciplines. We have moved beyond multidisciplinary to transdisciplinary, meaning that engineers can work with computer scientists, mathematicians, who from heart, who from all disciplines, management science, and so on and so forth. But we are here today to engage with you, to share knowledge and skills. The University of Technology has about 3,000 students, and 1/3 of these students are in my Faculty of Accounting and Informatics. So I usually brag that my faculty is equivalent to some universities in terms of student population, because we have close to 10,000 students in that faculty. And that faculty is the second largest in Durban University of Technology. We have 7 departments. Before I became the dean, we had 6 departments. And when I became the dean in 2016, we set up a new department called Information Systems. And one of the programs we have introduced in that faculty, in department, is degree in Internet of Things. And we are the first university in Africa, as recognized by Ham Holdings Computing UK, to have set up degree in Internet of Things in any university. My faculty is the richest in our university. I used to make noise about that. We can buy some universities because we have close to 40 partners from industries, universities across the world, government and NGOs. So we do whatever we like without constraint. And that's what makes the university very strong. We don't write to companies. Companies write to us. Banks write to us. Motor industries write to us. Because we have what they are looking for. When you will have what people are looking for, they come to you, you don't go to them. So this is the kind of university that we have set up, and the kind of faculty that we have. So this morning I have expert, Professor Ojo has been introduced, leadership, entrepreneurial expert of the university, and engagement is our engagement coordinator. She has traveled all over the world to engage with industries and universities, and that is what the university is all about today, collaboration. So that's why we are here. And here in Nigeria, we will be visiting about 8 universities speak to them. And later on, we'll hear what I'm going to speak on. And I do hope that what I'm going to speak on will actually change our education system across Africa. And when I was in China in 2019, I said my goal is to reverse and to change education systems across Africa and across the world. And when I spoke, they said we agree with your concept. This is what we are also doing in China. So we are really very happy this morning to be here to share knowledge with you. We gain from you. You also gain from us. When you put your little and we had our little, it becomes equal. Thank you very much. And on behalf of the Global University of Technology, I would like to express our sincere gratitude to the deans of deans and directors of directors. Thank you very much. So one thing I always like to boast about is that I like changes. I like to change things. In 1993, when I was employed in 1992 at the University of London. By 1993, I decided I was going to change program language taught in the university. That time when we used COBOL, everybody was telling me about COBOL DB4, Pascal, etc. That is the language. Then I started my master's degree in USI. There are two profs. Prof gave me his big thesis, PhD thesis, to read. I said, Prof, I will not use COBOL. I said, there's a language called C++. That is what I studied at the University of London. It was not well received at the University of London. And then Professor Ademo jumped at it, and then he ordered for C++ compiler. You know that time? And that's how I changed. I introduced C++ programming language across engineering universities. I am the one standing before you. In 2019, when I was in CLGIE University in China, I told them I'm here to change the way we teach in Africa. And I want to start from China. And then when I spoke, teaching paradigm. They were all in the room laughing at me. I didn't care whether they were laughing or not. And when I finished, they said, Prof, you know where we are laughing? Why we are laughing? This is what Professor Jingwin is also preaching to us. Professor Jingwin is EIP. And then you are coming over teaching paradigm. And then they invited Professor Jingwin to meet with me. And then we agreed we are going to work together. So why is doing this in China, I will do this in Africa. So this morning, I have come to Lauten to speak about EPIP. And then when I leave here, I will leave this method behind for you to start listening. And then when you need me, you can invite me like this. So I'm going to follow this team. First, I will introduce why we are introducing this method. Then I will discuss the method called Engineering Practice of Innovation Project. Then I'm going to tell some stories of this method. And I will show you some sample projects from my university. And then I'll also show you some impact. Any research without impact is not yet good research. And then I will draw my conclusion. So I'm going to start by saying the current society that we have is facing so many challenges, and of course we know them. And when we came here, I've seen these challenges almost everywhere. And unemployment is very swollen. Unemployment. You see how many percentage of Nigerians are employed. Employment is not just working, but having a decent job, good salary. So if I'm a professor in Nigeria, my salary should be up to 5 million naira per month. Otherwise, I will not take my job. So if I come to Nigeria to earn 500,000, I will not teach again. There is no job. 2, rising poverty. We saw many people at the airport and across the town where we go to eat, people are coming, begging for money to eat. It's not only in Nigeria, it's also in South Africa on the street. People are begging. Almost every part of the world. I was in UK, I saw people begging. I was in USA, I saw people begging. I was in Australia, people were begging. New Zealand, people were begging. Spain, people were, almost every part of the world, people were begging. I was in Kenya, people were begging. I was in Rwanda, people were begging. I was in Egypt, people were begging. It's a very serious problem in Africa and the rest of the world. Inequality, abject disentanglement, social entrenchment, and of course, aging population and business ineptness. In fact, Lana described this as umbrella. Umbrella simply means people who are doing SME under umbrella, so the rain falls there, and then sun also be there, just to be fair. Sometimes the rain can take away the umbrella, so where it is from. This is a very serious problem we have across Africa. And our government has now responded. Our government they make money, and when they die, they very, very lose money. So this is the kind of society that we have. And then we have to reverse the society. And we said, to change this society to a better society, we don't have to travel to moon. We don't have to leave this world. We don't have to go to metaverse. We can still leave this world in metaverse. So technology and education are two weighting factors that we can use to reverse the situations. Technology and education. So my interest is more on education. So United Nations in 2015 tried to set up goals to actually address these problems in 2015, and that was 15 years project. But now, from now to 2030, we have just 6 years left. So to what extent have we achieved this goal? Zero. I'm not sure we have achieved this goal. Our education is no longer of high quality. Our education has become something different. So this morning, I will be speaking to you. And of course, if you look at UNNO, quality education is very critical. And for me, this is the pillar. If we're able to deal with quality education, then we can address this point. So I'm going to be speaking about this problem. What education training paradigm is required for the 5th industrial revolution? And I'm sure many of us know we are already in the 5th IR. 4th IR only lasted for about 20 years, and we have moved past that. We are now in 5th IR. And for every industrial revolution, there is equivalent. For every industrial revolution, there is equivalent education revolution. And both education revolution and industrial revolution creates new society. So we have industrial 5.0, education 5.0 today. So the kind of education training, according to the goal of 5IR, is what I'm going to speak to you. And then the solution is EPIP. And of course, EPIP is the only way to technical and innovative ability of students and developing their professional vision to realize formation for career literacy. If we want to make our students to be independent and to be better, we have to change our education. And that's what I'm going to change today. How do we change our education? What kind of education we require? I'm going to show you today. So, this form of education is called engineering practice of innovation project. And why do we need it? First, it's a completely new way of delivering university and schools education. And Professor Jim called it, he said it's novel. And of course, according to him, he said engineering is the project. And of course, as the object, engineering project as object, and engineering practices as the orientation to this approach. So that simply means that students will not learn alone anymore. They learn in peers. Okay. Now, this is a catalyst to take innovative ideas from academic to marketplace for quality of life improvement. There are some of our students involved in our project. We pay them state stipend every month. So as a student, we pay them stipend every month to study with us. We give them bursary. So you're a student, you want to remain in university because you don't want to leave because you are learning, you are earning salary, you are getting scholarship. We are paying off your school fees. Somebody asked me, Prof, what is your goal if you are a vice chancellor? I said my goal is just one, to be vice chancellor of free and quality university education. No student will pay fees. Registration fee will be zero. Accommodation fees will be zero. Feeding will be free. You will eat what you like. No lecturer will want to leave my university. And all the professors in my university will be the best in the world. You will never want to leave. You will get the best salary. And this is the form of education that we want. Learning should focus on practice-based learning. That is the only way we can realize results that is what creative or improve product technology, processes and services. We should be able to create new products, improve on the existing products, and have opportunity to make money by all means in a more decent way. So it's an innovative form of education that enables students to solve more challenging problems. I was just telling you this week that by the time my undergraduate students finish their project, I will write to the university that we shall award them master's degree. That's what I'm going to do once they finish the project. Now, this method embodies ideas of combining industry with academics. We can actually, so somebody asked me, where will you get money to found the university? I say it's very simple. One, I'm not going to steal the money, so I'm going to fund the money. The money will follow automatically. So we make academics to be enterprise. That's the first thing. Combine industry with academics. Combine work or doing with learning. And of course, combine skills. Got it. In this form of learning, teachers and students are co-learners. There is no lord. In the conventional mode of learning, teachers are the lord of the students. Whatever they tell students is final. But when we teach in the classroom, we only give 30% of what students need to know through our teaching. Because we assume that teachers are the lords of knowledge. Now, this is the traditional form. This is what we currently do all over the world. And this problem is called the singularity problem. A professor will teach in the classroom, thinking that when knowledge is given to students will be able to apply that knowledge to create things or to do things. It has been discovered that there is no correlation between theory and practice. There's no correlation. The best experienced teacher, professor in the world, can never teach you to do anything useful. It's not possible. That's why we have different forms of learning. Experiential learning, skill-based learning, peer learning, all forms of theories that are not working for us. So I am reversing this approach and saying, each time we acquire knowledge, we cannot translate that knowledge to practice. So when you go to industry, the industry has to train you. Now, skill to practice. Okay, skill to theory. When you start from practice skill, developing products and creating things, you are more knowledgeable than someone who starts learning theory. So let's reverse this trend. Start building products, start creating things. And here, students find theories to explain what students have developed, then students will improve the product. And this is the best form of learning. Wow. Theory is what you know. And what you know has no value until you can apply it for real purpose. So there's a difference between what you know and what you can do. What you know cannot give you job, but what you can do can give you job. It can also help you to create job. In my faculty now, when we recruit lecturers and professors, I ask them to keep their special. I'm not interested in how many universities, how many PhDs you have acquired. I am interested in what can you do for us here. You have to tell me. How is your knowledge relevant to us? You have to prove yourself. So I give you time. So my appointment is based on that. So almost all the committees of recruitment I sit in the university. That is the kind of things I found. So knowing all the rules of football, knowing all the players, some of them are your friend, Messi is your friend, does not make you a footballer. Knowing all the rules of football. In fact, the best footballers are the spectators. He should have played this way, he should have played that way. When he goes to the field, he can't play that way. They break his leg. So knowing all the rules of a game and all the players and the coaches does not make you an expert in that game until you actually do it. Knowledge is intangible, but skills make it tangible. Skills make it relevant. Why do you have to teach programming language when you don't know how to write program? What knowledge do you need? Why do you have to teach research methodology when you have not written one paper before? You say, no, I'm not a researcher, I'm a teacher. Who are you teaching? What are you teaching? Practice, practical experience correlates with theory, but theory does not always correlate with practice. Practice makes perfect. You know that. It makes remembrance. It fosters experiential and self-directed learning. You know better when you practice than when you read and memorize. Practical experience gives deeper understanding of theory and practice is a better way of learning. And of course, you know the story of the Wright brothers. In 1864, New York Times from America published, it will take man 100 million years to invent an aeroplane. It will take man 100 million years to invent aeroplane. So that simply means construction of aeroplane is not possible. And a man came with a toy of aeroplane and flew it in the room, and then the aeroplane fell down. And the two sons asked, Dad, why is this aeroplane not moving? Scientists have concluded throughout the world, published by New York Times, it's not possible to design aeroplane. And those two boys said, we will design aeroplane. Those are my friends, they don't believe in impossibilities. And the following year, what happened? They flew their kids. And everybody was looking at them. We have aeroplane today. And through aeroplane, better theories have been invented. And today you can have the whole of us in this room times 10 in the air. The safest place to travel is in the air. Once aeroplane is in the air, it's difficult to crash. That's why there are no patients, aeroplane patients in the hospital. It's very difficult to have aeroplane crash. So, and these guys didn't use theory, they used metaphor. If birds can fly in the air, I can design an aeroplane that flies in the air. And that was a metaphor. So it's not theory. Of course, 5 high arms have deploy this model, and this is the way we should use it. First, environment is very important. If I take everybody in this class and teach them, and take another people in the class and give them technology to use, those who be better are those with resources. So the first requirement of this model is to have the enabling environment, resources. And then after that, put students in the laboratory where there are resources. Put students in the workshop where there are resources. Put students in halls where there are resources. Leave them, don't teach them. Let them begin to create things. And then when they create things, you come back to apply your theory to help them improve on what they have created. So they learn from practice to theory. And then don't stop there. Try to push what they have developed to usage. And then you commercialize it to make money. So always address societal problems. At any of these things, so this method is attractive. For example, at this level, if you are using these products and there are problems, errors, you come back to refine. If this product is commercialized and customers are complaining of improvement, you come back to refine. If at this level you of refinement, if new components or resources are required, come back and provide the resources. So my student will tell me, we are building this product, we need this equipment, you go and buy for them. You will not wait or ask them to do the magic. Now let me tell you some of the good stories on our approach. This is Chinese model of learning. In fact, in most universities in China, they don't write exam anymore. Because when you set tests, what are you asking students to do? What is EPIP? Where is it being used? How does it compare with directed learning? That's what you do in exam. Examination today is useless. So, if you ask them to invent, you just look at the promotional engineering road and take students of civil engineering to go there and construct the road and make the road better. The university of the government should provide the resources. You don't need to award contract. Students will be given the money. They pay the students as workers. When they go back to classroom, they learn civil engineering or architecture better. A professor from APU I read online tried to do something very similar. He's a professor of mechanical engineering. He owns a mechanical workshop, mechanics. He is using the students in that workshop. That's a better one, than staying in the classroom, drawing diagram, learning about machines you have not seen before. You can't do anything with those theories. And this is a better way. So this is Chinese model. The professor is just playing around. The professor is somewhere here looking at what the students are doing. Some of the students are sleeping because they sleep there in 24 hours in the laboratory. I actually saw all of this myself. It's not just study. I went to all the big companies, including Elcom. I saw what is happening. See the lecture room. No chairs like this. Students can see them. They learn differently. They are only creating things. Look at the YouTube model. This 3D printing, they are industry standard. So if our students finish from DUT, they won't be scared of no industry will train them. Because everything in the industry we have in our university. We have different laboratories and workshops. We have one of the best urban workshops across the world. In 2019, we were ranked first among 20 urban workshops across the world, mainly from Europe, Canada, UK, Cape Town. They design themselves, everything here. And that's how they learn. So how do you have Internet of Things department and you are learning theory of sensors and you have not seen sensors before? Drones. South African Aviation accredited my university as a drone training center. We are training the aviators how to fly drones. This is the CEO of a big organization with us. Minister of Communication, Deputy Minister, come to us. Sit in my office from 8 o'clock to 5 o'clock. We don't go to them. Now, what are some of the projects that we have done? First, in 2020, during the COVID, I'm sure you know COVID story. South African government said, we will buy a laptop for all the students to learn from home. In one of our management meetings, I said it's not possible. I said no country in the world is capable of buying computers for all the students. Even America, with close to 10,000 universities, you can't buy laptops for all the students. In the first instance, how many years will it take you to manufacture all the laptops across the world? It's not possible. So what we did, we responded immediately. Device. So this device is our computer. These devices connect all our students to internet and they can access internet resources. I use it in my house, in my room. I connected these devices to through my television. Once you have TV, everybody has TV at home. The TV is the screen. Is the computer. So we change that. And that's how we solve our problem. We were donating masks and face shields to all the hospitals in South Africa. They were all manufactured in our Dubai workshop. We gave them free of charge. Why the government not listening to us? Free of charge. Our students were in the laboratory manufacturing face sheets and masks for doctors to survive during COVID. Look at this. This lady is a lecturer in physics now. She came to me and said, Prof, I want to do research, but I want research that will make impact. Not just any research for our masters. I said, what do you want to do? He said, I want to do research to charge mobile phone without NEPA light. I look at her. I'm not an engineer. I didn't know the result. My mom is there. I don't know the answer. Thank you for coming, Mom. I will kiss you at the I don't know the answer. Then I look at her. I said, take the energy from the air. And she looked at me and left my office. I said, thank you for being here. This lady has come to embarrass me. Then I called my professor friend, professor of electrical engineering. I said, one student just left my office now. Prof, can you get me out? She wants to charge mobile phone using energy from not ESCOM. ESCOM is NEPA. Yeah. Then he said, no, use solar. I said, no, solar will not do the magic. I know solar right from when I was secondary school. Federal Polytechnic that we were going to Polytechnic to see what solar, no, solar will not solve the problem. 1 week after this lady, I was happy. I said, no, don't go somewhere, don't register. 2 a month, she didn't come. 3rd month, I just saw her, she cut my heartbeat. And then she talked to me and said, Prof, when you told me I should take the energy from the air, I thought you were crazy. I found the solution. And then she put the devices together. And then she generated the energy. can use calculator to test it. Say, I can only get 1.16 volt, but 1.6 volt is not sufficient to charge mobile phone. I say, this is sufficient for me. Write your thesis, and then we publish the paper. I say, come and improve it for the PhD. And she came back to do her PhD with me. Now, after you getting some equipment and whatever for her, she improved 1.1 volt to 9.6 volts.
Wow. Wow.
And the voltage you need to charge mobile phone is 5 volts. She charged mobile phone in my office. And then we found, after engaging our industry partners, that this system has multiple applications in medical industries and sensor devices, medical devices, because energy they consume is about 5 to 8 volts. She got African Innovation Award twice. They pay for her flight, pay for everything. She got African Innovation twice. And this project gave her a job. She went for an interview at VC University, one of the highly ranked universities in Africa. And then they asked her, what is your PhD work? And you can tell her that you published this result. What is your PhD all about? He said, I said, no, we don't have that skill here. And then, well, they look for skill, not knowledge. So, and there is this equipment after and this and then. Some companies will take this over with us. Old Mutual is interested in this and some other. We actually want to partner with MTN and ask MTN to take away these cables and then put our devices. So later on, I began to read and then I formulated the theory to explain what she had done, and I helped her with the physics and mathematics involved. That's why she went on this. This result you can check on and publish.
Interesting.
Now this is a PhD guy that wants to build robots, machine that can speak all the 11 South African languages, top to people. We can use this tool to teach our students, to help them develop skills. Now, she has developed the algorithm. She'll be graduating PhD this year. Both of them will be finishing their PhD this year. But the PhD has products, not just theory, solving differential equations. You can't apply. This is one of my best students. It was very interesting that this guy got masters from Nigeria, came to South Africa. In South Africa, what did he do? Computer science. Can you write program here? He failed the exam with master's degree, and he was not happy. You know them, your friend. And somebody said, there's one doctor in TUT, Prof was the dean that time. Go and meet him if you want to study nice course. And he came to me, said he wants to do his master's. And they registered for master of technology. And then he got cum laude. Cum laude is first class. Yeah. And then he went back to that company. Momentum is that company. Momentum is very popular all over. And then he went back again. This time around full of confidence. And then they gave me the exam and they cleared the examination. They gave him deputy manager straight away. And then I left TUT to DUT. He said, Prof, anywhere you are going, if you are going to heaven, I'm following you. If I don't do my PhD with you, I will do PhD anymore. And he came to Durban. He was working. He said, I want to do something that will impact society. I said, very good. This product is under patent in America now. I have a system here in my mobile device. Every morning, I scan the screen to monitor my cancer. This device can diagnose 30 different cancer classes. And it will tell you, this is the confidence level I have to check this result is correct. We are working with 3 strong dermatologists. Good mutual medical experts are working with us. In fact, they gave us another project to be funded by them. We already have a project for this project. So don't ask for money. They tell us we have money.
We have money for
We
you.
don't ask them for money. They tell us we have money for you. So we are working on that project. And we have all the equipment required. And they told us their problem. And the first, because all mutual also want to diagnose diseases from the eye. After our research, we found and diagnosed close to 39 eye diseases, including diabetes. In fact, the best way to diagnose diabetes is not through the blood sequence, but through the eyes. This is the kind of research that's coming from IT, professor is doing. We are not engineering. We solve engineering more because of our approach. This is very interesting. This guy also got a job in the University of Victoria, one of the top ranking universities. This is the outcome of his project. We were to build local television station for our university. That was his project. And this television, the university will not pay 1 cent. Free to run it. And very important, problem solved here is called zapping delay. Zapping delay, so we will have a new form of television station that will not be permitted zapping delay. Zapping delay is a problem we encounter when you are watching television and you need to switch from one channel to another. Okay, so when you switch to the next channel, maybe there's an important program you want to view. Before you get to that channel, the program is a time delay. This project pages to solve that problem. So, and then with the idea, we were able to construct a new television station that will broadcast news free of charge. That's the question. I think I need to also tell you the meaning of innovation. I used to tell myself, my colleagues, professors of science, they will tell me, Prof, we have manufactured new foods. We have new Coke. It's November. I say it's not November. I will ask, what is the price? So the price of this Coke, say, is 200 naira, for example. And then somebody, you have another company producing Coke or something very close to Coke. That is not innovation. It already exists. So I will ask you what makes your Coke innovative. So my faculty has water. It's innovation. You know why? For 2 reasons. First, when you come to our faculty, or when there's a function in the university, we supply bottled water free of charge. You don't pay. So the first is free. You drink water without paying. That's the first. So in terms of cost, the cost is lower. 2. So I will tell you, if you drink this Coke or bottled water, you can't have disease because the Coke or water is anointed. So during COVID, people were dying in the university and elsewhere. You know, many people died in South Africa. They would just call me. Somebody's admitted hospital with COVID. Give him the faculty water to drink. You drink water, COVID disappears. That is innovation. So it's either the cost is lower or it has no value. Without that, it is not innovation. Now this is innovation because we won't pay and solve quite a problem. Now this is a project, this is a government project that was given to us to develop for the country. I'm the chair of the research center. There are 5 such centers in South Africa. One of them is in our university. So the idea is to connect all the 21 sectors in the country. We call them Ministry of Education, Ministry of Agriculture. And then we connect all of them, and then we make government operations to be very transparent. So we can go from anywhere, transaction with a call in Ministry of Education. So we link all the ministries together using data lake, and then we can see the operation. So it's not possible for you to come in for there. So this is a multi-brand project during to us. And we involved President. We are supposed to finish the project this year. President were involved. Professor Naja is the lead. Unfortunately, last year, all the students got the top job. We lost all the 12 students. But students still on. We recruited a few more students this year. So the students say, Prof, the money we got, what you are giving us is peanuts. So we lost all the students to top companies because they were very involved in capital projects. This is what the industry wants. The British Council project is why the university is involved. The Professor Ojo is here, is the lead chair. So we are also looking at the youth employability problem. Because employability is a very serious problem in Africa. Many of our youth, brilliant youth like you guys, you are not having good jobs. You are not having decent jobs. So we want you to be more successful through your learning. So I normally ask, if I ask this question, why do we have schools and universities? Can anybody tell me? If you know it, just read up. Why do we need universities? Why do we have universities across the world? Why do we have mountain and we are here in mountain? Can anybody tell me the reason? Stuart? To enhance knowledge. Yes.
Problems in the community or the nation.
So I think I'm happy, and this is a different answer. I'm happy this because students come and learn and make job. So the reason we have universities around the world is to develop students who develop their community. And that's why you see those roads, what do you do about them? When we were coming from Ottawa through Papanando, we were in the gym. You don't need a gym. In fact, you don't need to do exercise in the gym. That's already in the gym. The other was just enjoying ourselves in the gym. Basically was doing acrobatics. Prof could not sleep very well. And then the boss was just enjoying it. And then I'm going to publish an article. And then I gave her the topic of the article.
So find solution for us.
Yes. When moves on our roads, normally you see potholes. Those are not potholes. They are well moves. Well moves, not potholes. And then we have all our engineering students. They are joining us to complain about government not doing anything. So they are all well accepted on the road. And then I came back and slept. And following day, I couldn't carry my hands up. And then my head was because we travel inside well homes. Then there's one. And then you don't even know the true road. Somebody is going to San Francisco for them. It's my road. You don't touch it, you have to leave. Then you go inside. In a nation, the largest country in Africa is not interesting. Others is a very serious problem. And we have to do something about this problem. And our government, and the most serious problem in Africa is the political problem. Because that's the most useless profession in the world. Politics is not a good profession. Because you have a profession that allows illiterates to do both. Somebody with secondary school can be president of Nigeria. In this modern world, somebody with school science will never do well. You can't even rule your heart. That's why you have 2-3 wives. Somebody with 2-3 wives already in the grave. What else? And then you rule a nation with 7 wives or 30 wives. Your life is ruined. And these are the kind of people who live in the nation. And your president came to South Africa. Victoria, I'm saying it that the press can arrest me. This is my country. And then the former president says, Nigeria is meant for black, while South Africa is meant for white. The useless president. I used to tell Prof I want to go back to Nigeria. If they don't allow me to be president, they should give me Minister of Infrastructural Development. I solved the problem in 3 months. Do you believe that? 3 months, I solved it. Now, let's look at the impact that
So how did you manage to, or is the motor not to? So how do you?
Okay, so left, right for this motor.
Okay.
Up, down, this one. So if I move this one, down, if I move to the side, this one.
Yeah, that's an example of API. So this student across the university, from Faculty of Art and Design, from Faculty of Engineering, from my faculty, they came to visit this student and said, "Oh, we want to build our own African products." And we are going to name this one after Shaka, one of the greatest key lion identity. Yeah, so it's a very big thing. And then I asked them, whatever the people in the tell me, I provide. So we gave them all the time. And then there's a technician that is monitoring them. What are you doing? How are you doing it? We don't care about it. When you finish, you get here and that those guys will engage in 5 training. And we have different groups working on different aspects of that work. When they finish, and then when we do that, president come to the office, come and talk to us. These are kind of people. So this is the end of the process. This is the end. So straight from art and design so different group working on the same project. That's engineering practice. It's not one person. One person cannot build robot like one of the masters is building a robot in the office, for example. And then different students are working on this way. Some are building the arm, some will take the some will take the face. This is how we shall do. And this is a group of students.
Yini imicabango yakho ngentuthuko yokusebenzisa ukuhlakanipha okungekhona okwangempela?
Ngicabanga ukuthi ukuthuthukiswa kobuhlakani bokufakelwa kunamandla ukuguqula kakhulu izimboni nokuthuthukisa izimpilo zethu zansuku zonke. Ubuchwepheshe be-AI bungasetshenziswa ukulungisa izinqumo, ukuthuthukisa ukuthatha izinqumo, nokwandisa ukusebenza kahle emikhakheni ehlukahlukene efana nokunakekelwa kwezempilo, ezezimali, ezokuthutha, nokuningi. Kodwa-ke, kukhona nokukhathazeka mayelana nobumfihlo, ukucabangela ukuziphatha, nokufuduka komsebenzi okudingeka kubhekwe ngokucophelela njengoba i-AI iqhubeka nokuqhubekela phambili. Sekukonke, ngikholwa ukuthi ukuthuthukiswa okunomthwalo wemfanelo nokuthunyelwa kobuchwepheshe be-AI kungaletha intuthuko eminingi emihle emphakathini.
So that's a good working on the voice translation because the robot will speak English. If you speak English, you will not speak English. If you speak Islamic, you will back to me, speak Yoruba. So I'm not going to do that. And then when they finish all the projects, they will also have on vision. So because our idea for what is programming is different, the current research worldwide is that we use some kind of machine learning techniques to train models. So the limitation of that is that the machine will only be able to do particular tasks. For example, what was designed for is being Chef Alan is using machine learning to make robots. So that's the limitation. But our own is not very country how to start reform. The babies are in the environment and the system walking around the fields. Oh, if I don't have one, I don't see I can't work. These guys are getting the reward, I can't get the reward. So to get the reward, I need to do what they are doing. And then you try to start one day and go to the table, you fell down and cry. And one day he starts and he lives up and he wants to grow and he's happy. And everybody's clapping, that's the reward. So if you take an action to another state, if you pass that state, there's a reward. If you fail, there's a penalty. Can we use this reinforcement? That's what I think. So our robot will enter here now and see all the physical, and just want to see that. But the robot should to see. So we can hear it. So the robot is sicker. It's empty space. It's sicker. Because I'm talking, the robot wants to talk. So no, I didn't ask you to talk. Can you keep quiet? It's not to talk. I want that to do as you speak. And then the robot will keep quiet. So this is the kind of behavior that you want. And this is the only way the robot will behave like this. Most of the machine learning are working today. They are not at the level that Alan Turing discussed in 1940 when he did this experiment in Manchester. When we get to Manchester, I should actually share that story. This is where Alan Turing actually performed experiment whether machine can behave like human being, and then they alleged that how can you be so stupid? How can machine behave like human being? It must be a artist. Then he committed suicide. As he felt, he was insulted. But 50 years after, IBM did grow, they developed machine to actually play chess and take Kasper. So since that time, now have confidence. It's possible for human machine to have knowledge and behave like human being. And of course, Robocop was 50 years old. By 2050, we expect robots to play soccer against the best team in the world. So the limitation of those robots is that they are only trained to do particular tasks like playing football. But when it comes to other things, but robots don't do anything as instructed by the owner. So I instruct my robot, please can you just do this, then check if the car is arrived, and then come out and wait for the consideration. So that's the kind of robot. And at that time, the robot will also be endowed with emotion because we also want them to have emotion. Like the lady in your car, you just said that the lady will tell you, go left, go right, go turn right. And then if you disappoint the lady, she won't complain because she has no emotion. Obviously, we need to tell you, sorry, you are disobeying me, I won't guide you again. Okay, you are your own, I won't help you again. And that's how you want to behave in that family. Because it shows some kind of emotion. So can we make that sure that you have emotion? You feel emotion. If you are not correct, if you also disappoint you. And that's the level at level 4. The human machines behave and then have that's the kind of research we're using.
Welcome everybody. This is a dialogue system. So the system, how it works officially, the blue light stays on to show you that the system is actually working. We use the RFID scanner to scan RFID tags in the motor to open the doors, and then you have the LCD screen display to display whatever is happening. So right here, we have a tag that is not registered on the system. So when this scans, the buzzer will go off and motor will access denied. Just like that. And then right here, we have a tag that is on the system. When you scan this one, it will tell you access granted. That's opening the door to whatever you want to do. When you're done, you close the door. So, lastly, we have student cards from TUT. It can actually identify who you are using your student cards. Thank you.
Yeah, and the good thing is that some of those students are just university. Some of them are really diploma students. And some of them get jobs. And some of them come to so this is a better form of learning. And then some of the impact we have to show you. First, we have partnership with companies. Most of the equipment that we use get them free from UK. They actually need them to because we have our school in several schools. Normally, so, you know, Amazon, we have 3 webs, cloud, and faculty. As long as one university we don't follow the university. We use Ocean Connect from Huawei. We don't have Huawei here, Huawei, Ocean Connect, or we use web services. These are some companies, Cisco and the Oracle. So these are companies that we have partnership with. And of course, universities, including Oxford University. So we have CLGIE4YEJC Institute. So we have university. Laughter should be here. Yes. Yes, Laughter. Yeah, sir. So anywhere we go to in the world, and then we have government and government departments. These are the guys controlling government money in the country. Bank sitters, so they own plenty money. BRICS delegates came to our university last year, and then we took part in the BRICS competition. They'll be coming in May. So they'll be coming to set a very big hub. So we are in fact, yesterday I've been making phone call to find out which place we are going to be there. Because the director of BRICS actually told me, I said, Prof, thank you for the Dubai workshop. We will set something very similar in your university. So, Masters, Moses Kotali, these are the guys having the money. This British Council, Institute. So these guys will have plenty money. They always give us plenty money. You didn't have to go there. Yeah, so. Yes? Yeah. So during COVID, you can see some of the things our students did. So they actually invented wristwatch and went to persist and the which was
Distance.
So if I say please move away from you, get angry with me. But my wristwatch will tell you, please, you are going closer to move away, and then you will see it. It got the first Hackathon award in the country. And it was presented by most universities. These are diploma students. Now, South African government, they normally award best young students, the first 100 Young Mandela Award for the country. 2 from the faculty, the only 2 from the university from the faculty. And these are 2. This lady, she was also considered by African Union. She represented Africa in the postgraduate master's degree program in USA. She addressed the postgraduate students in a university in America. In fact, this lady already has her own company at the age of 22. And she's been supported by the government across the country. And she has been to many countries across the world at the age of 21, 22. She has been to Germany, USA, UK to make presentations. She's very brilliant. And she's making a lot of money. She's currently 10th year degree IT. So you can be sure that this is one of the future ministers in the country because it's already known. If I go to government presentation, both of us together, she will address how we she's 23 years, 22 years. There are 10 law advocates in Africa, 2 from my university, 2 from my faculty. And then 2 of them, one is working in USA and one is working in Microsoft UK. Just like Muda. I know Muda. Just like Muda. This one is working in Microsoft USA. They are also my faculty. Our degree students publish the paper as well. They attend conferences. We sponsor them. They attend conferences anywhere in the world. So if they write paper and accepted, we normally encourage them not to write local paper, but to go to overseas, US, UK, France, IEEE conferences. We support them. In fact, it's compulsory for us that every year go overseas for international experience. And then we also do inbound and outbound. I think we have to do the same thing with LATEC. So we have it with MIT, Massachusetts universities. We have it with German students. We have with the Netherlands. They come to us, we host them in faculty every year. We also send our students. For example, we can ask for a student to come and work in our laboratory, and then we also send our student to you. So student inbound and outbound. So we do that a lot. Last year, the BRICS delegates, after their summit in Johannesburg, the BRICS summit took place in Johannesburg last year, and the BRICS education director told the president, Ramaphosa, we are going to DUT. And eventually, they came to us and they asked us to take part in this competition, international competition, BRICS scale competition. That time it was in September, but this was closed in August. They opened it for only DUT students. And then we took part. Machine learning and big data. We came second and third throughout the world. And they're all my students. This lady will be graduating PhD this year, and this one will be graduating also this year. So, for the last 6 years, the engagement competition at university all come from the faculty. First position come from the faculty. This year again they won first and fourth prize. So you dare not compete with my student. If you compete with my student, you will lose. Now this one is the top one this year. So this is Formula 1 competition where 78 universities apply for these competitions around the world. You can check it online. Then 30 top universities were selected across the world, mainly from UK, Europe. One university won from Asia, and then one university from Africa. And those are the guys working on the robots. And this was captured almost newspapers in the country and government. In fact, government came to my faculty to interview. He gave me my student and myself. DUT robotics students among winning team, the international engineering competition. Can you see? I think I just need to briefly conclude that for me, I think this is we need in Africa, especially in Africa, we need new form of education training. The conventional approach is not really very important for us, and then we have to move away from what we are doing. And then I am advising that we should move to DPIP, the model of learning. And then what is required in this kind of model of learning is some good environment. For example, beside classrooms, we should have workshops, innovation hubs, laboratories, where our students can do more practicals. Then we need to infuse this approach into curriculum. Then we also need to change the mindset of instructors. Like I said, professors and students are both learning together in the classrooms. And of course, we must also encourage our students and staff to also take part in skills competition. Because you don't do tests in skills to measure skills. You only compete. Like World Cup, for example, World Championship. This is what we encourage our students. So we must also promote student entrepreneurs venture. For example, if you see any student from our faculty who has a business idea and they do very well, we'll move that student to our innovators where we have Dr. Lana to take care of that student. And then the university will find the initial grant to start the business, no matter the amount. So, and that's because we believe that, our Vice Chancellor believes that if at least less than 1% of our students are entrepreneurs, we'll be able to solve the unemployment problem, because they also employ themselves, and we need to support this process. So many of our students, we take them through that entrepreneurship venture, and that means expert in that. And then we can provide funding for them. And then when we give them funding, they don't eat the money.
They don't buy car.
They don't buy car, like you. Thank you for saying that. They don't marry wives. They will use the money at the pocket. And that's the difference between what we see there and what we do here. And then, of course, we have to change our mindset. And that's what we need to inculcate. And that's the only way we can transform this nation and make this country better. We can't allow this pushing us. We have to show them the way. If they don't know, if they apply it, we have to show them the way. Next time do something. Then gradually we hope that we have good leaders from this team coming out. So if some of you are entrepreneurs and then you are well in there, if you have opportunity to be commissioner, president, governor, you change the country. But we can't rely on these people. Obviously, we can't rely on this kind of people who have the government to help you. And that's why the force are here. To also say, please, can we begin to do something different? Yesterday knows me in the university. All the people in the university know me. Vice Chancellor know me. I always look for alternative. I always look for a new way. Some will say, no, we're not that person. We don't know how you're getting money. I say the money is coming from heaven.
Another round of applause. Please, why will give him a round of applause? That was very, very loaded, very, very explosive, very, very explosive, very, very enlightening, very, very instructive. We are so proud of our Professor Olubara. Thank you, gentlemen and ladies. Let's be seated. I'm dumbfounded. Ladies and gentlemen, that was a very explosive presentation by Professor Olubara, the Dean, Executive Dean of the Faculty of Accounting and Informatics at the Durban University of Technology in Durban, South Africa. He simply presented to us EPIP, EPIP Novel Teaching Paradigm, Engineering Practice and Innovative Projects. The summary of all he has said is that we must move from the conventional way of teaching and learning and move to the new paradigm that is practical oriented. I want to believe that both students and staffs that are present here, you have learned a lot. I'm sure you cannot digest all that has been said right now. We plead with him, he will give us the slide, you go over it again, you keep digesting it, and then you start pitching your tent. You start looking at areas where you need to shift your way of thinking. You have a new mindset about education and how to convert, how to solve problems, how to use those problems, turn them into entrepreneur, how to identify societal problems and use your knowledge, the knowledge you're acquiring in the university to solve these problems. He highlighted the myriad of very, very, critical and endemic problem facing the world. One, unemployment. Unemployment. He mentioned several things, and these are just practical problems all over the place. And except we allow the knowledge we're acquiring to help us to solve those problems. And I tell you, once you're a service provider, when you solve problems, you become rich. You become rich. Ladies and gentlemen, another round of applause for Professor. questions. If you have questions, note them down. You'll be given the opportunity to ask your questions.
Thank you so much for the presentation, sir. Well, I want to say in Nigeria, our case is very, very different. In the sense that, from what you are saying, it is evident that fund is necessary. The university is not ready to provide a fund. The government is not ready. Because we need a fund even to make a prototype that the industry will be willing to fund. How do we go about this? And number two, what is the student role in all this? Because I could see that students play a very minor, they have nothing to do. They cannot really say something about it because it's what they are into that they fix into. That is my question, sir.
Thank you very much. Take an example of Professor Justice in this university. Most of these things we see, move about this collaboration. If we are dependent on government, I learned from the Bible that you don't walk with the crowd. The Bible says Jesus Christ passed through the crowd. So you can only strive where there are challenges and your approach. If I leave Nigeria to South Africa, if I want to graduate, I'll do something different. The problem is not different from South Africa. The same thing. So if I go to my vice chancellor and say I need money, he will tell me you're not the only thing in faculty, my 60th faculty, same thing. I don't have that money to give you because I'm able to give money. Your idea is good, but I won't be able to fund it. So you don't rely on government. You don't rely on the vice chancellor. I don't believe in possibilities. I remember when he came to my office, he said, you like donate here. You know what I said? Because I have to pass through the crowd. When I see challenges, I'm always very happy. If I were to be in Nigeria, by now I would be in government in this country. And I will change it. I used to take off every time. In fact, last year I was off group. They invited me to be one of the ministers for this country. I was looking for that opportunity. If I'm Minister of Education today, I will not wait for people to tell me what to do. I know what to do. Whether you want to keep me or not, I'll do what I want to do. So, in DUT now, if I submit my budget for CAPEX, it doesn't all tight anymore. You don't change it. It doesn't say, no, we can't give you this amount of money. Because if one government department, last year, December, one government department gave me 24 million. 24 million per 70 now. Because why? They know that if we give this money to this man, they will do it. I showed Professor Ojo letter where a bank wrote me and said, we want to partner with your university through Faculty of Accounting and Informatics under your leadership. I didn't go to them. So when you have what people are looking for, they come to you. If I write proposal to the host company, society will not do this, somebody will do it. But you start small from somewhere, and when you see your result, they move for you. I think for me that's the most important. Break. Some people say you think out of the box. I don't think out of the box. I never pray to think out of the box because why? I have broken the box one time. The box is not there for you.
So there is no box.
So when you put yourself in the box and you try to raise your head, you think out of it and waste your time, the first thing you do is to break the box. Are you following me? So when you are known to be someone who is contributing, we were the vice chancellor today, if by tomorrow, Professor Justice can the VC will support him. Because the VC are seen as one contributor in the university. When government hears of it, government will go for it. 1999, the Y2 program, they came to the University of Ibadan to move from the high competitive program to all the country. In 1999. When the whole world was saying Nigeria is going to fall, the bank will pray. This Nothing will happen by 2000. Nothing will happen. The whole Nigeria were shifting bags. I say, relax, nothing will happen. Prof, I told you that I was the one who coordinated it for the country, for the country. So just break the box that constrains you. Leave the VC, leave the university. Start something from where you can start. And then gradually, you can make 10 naira. 10 naira can make you millionaire. You just need one idea from God. And the way you use that idea can make you different. And that's what I believe. And that's my approach. I don't want to make education to write a student. She's the one who engaged me. Within 6 years or 7 years, she brought close to 80 million. She's the one. The companies will write her. She's a service education company. She's the one doing it. So don't be constrained. When you have idea, don't allow constraint to break your idea. Many good ideas are in the grave because of the box. How should I think outside the box? Don't think outside the box. Break the box and you think freely without constraint. And that's my philosophy.
What a man can do, a woman can do better. So it's my pleasure to bring to the podium Dr. Lala Ann. She will be presenting to us on green opportunities for a world at war with itself. Lala.
We're heading for afternoon, so I'm going to say good day. But let's first stand up.
Have we done something? Are we to blame? Can it literally be at war with itself? Are we the enemy? So in this climate discourse, Africa, your country, my country, we are the victims here. But what if we could change it? What if we could change this victim mentality? What if we could really make a better world for us all? So we came from Landmark University yesterday and we stayed at their guest house. And this young lady that was working at the guest house said to me, "Ma'am, I don't want to live in Nigeria. I wish I can come back with you." And I said to her, "You have such a beautiful country. Your country has so much potential." No, ma'am. If you, like her, think this country has no potential, take yourself to the grave today. Because that is what you're doing to your country, to your economy, and to your people. This is a country full of hope, full of opportunity. I have never witnessed the amount of entrepreneurship, excitement, the amount of people that have got their own businesses going, the number of umbrellas. I've never seen this in my life, and that makes me excited that I can see hope and encouragement in your country. So don't be a victim. What can we do? This continent is suffering, and it's urgent. We have to take action. know, our students, similarly to the students of this university, also don't think like we do or like our forefathers did. There's a change of thinking and a change of mentality. And they too just waste. They too just throw papers down. And I'll say to my students, pick up the paper. And you know what they tell me? They tell me they're creating jobs. And I said to them, unless you are paying that person, you are not creating a job. So what are you and I doing to create responsible behavior, responsible citizens that we can address issues like climate change? So over the last 50 years, you can see that we have really changed the way we use and the way we consume goods. And I'm going to illustrate this to you just now in the circular economy, where we are following a linear system. We just keep exploiting resources and throwing them away. And eventually the earth has got no more. And I was saying to you, Geshni, and to Prof last night, by 2030, we would have overshot what the earth can supply us, and we will need nearly 4 Earths. Nearly 4 Earths just to get the resources that we need. So the African continent has 3 things going for it. A young workforce. Yes, there may be unemployment, but guess what, Nigeria? South Africa's youth unemployment rate is 84%. 84%. You know what yours is? Round about 30%. So we also have challenges. We also have problems. But they're young. They've got hope. We've got lots of natural resources. We've got gold. You've got white gold. You've got oil. And of course, we have renewable energy. And I was so excited when we met with your VC this morning, and he said to us, on your agricultural campus, you have renewable energy projects going. And I'm hoping that we're going to be able to visit those while we're at your university. So what are we going to do? Not what is somebody else going to do. What are you and me going to do? First of all, how are we going to circumvent these intensive technologies that are just for consumption? The faculty that you're in, with your computer, your robotics, your technology, you're in a prime position to be able to leverage on technology here to circumvent these depletions. Second, how can we accelerate global decarbonization? We have stayed at multiple places while we've been here, and the lights have gone off a lot. And every time the lights have gone off, a generator has kicked in. And I'm thinking to myself, why? Why? Where's the solar? Why aren't we harvesting energy from the sun? Why are we kicking in a generator that is creating more carbon emission and making a heck of a lot of noise at the same time? So these renewable opportunities are there. They are ripe for the taking. We have a world that is at war with itself, a world that is crying out for help. It's up to you and it's up to me. So this aim of this curriculum that we've developed in partnership with your university, with Kenya, with the university in the UK and Innovate Durban, the aim really is to focus on innovation and how can we create a sustainable and creative solution for these climatic changes that we are facing. And we can't do this without considering our 17 Sustainable Development Goals. And I'm not going to undermine your intelligence because I'm sure you all know this better than me. So it's up to us now. Those of you that are students in the audience and those that we need to actively create an environment to be sustainable. We need to create an environment to educate each other of taking up this challenge. So we're going to be called upon to really be the entrepreneurs, the change drivers of the future. We need to empower the next generation to lead, to influence, and inspire the changing world. So we have identified in our curriculum development a whole lot of green concepts. And out of these, I'm just going to name them quickly. We've identified the circular economy, the ecosystem, sustainability, the term green. We've also looked at the linear economy, earth overshoot, greenwashing, the triple bottom line, regeneration, and the 5 R's of sustainability. But for the purposes of this presentation this morning or this afternoon, we're only going to look at 2 of them. So we're going to zoom into sustainability and into the circular economy. Fasten your seatbelts. Let's go. So, anyone who believes that exponential economic growth can go on forever in an infinite planet is living in La La Land. Resources are being used up. Why are we using generators? What did we always use all of these years? Where is the charcoal? It's used up. There's no more. It cannot just go on and on and on. As consumers, we've become obsessed with using and abusing the resources. And we're really driving our planet to ruin. We have things like deforestation, overfishing, the energy crisis, water conservation. Yes, bottled water. Why are we no longer drinking the water from our rivers and our streams, from our wells? Why are we spending hundreds of dollars a month on bottled water? And where are these bottles landing up? So we need more energy. This is not Nigeria's problem. This is a South African problem. It's a Kenyan problem. It's a Mozambique problem. It's a Congo problem. It's a world problem. The population is exploding. There is not enough world for us all anymore. And we're all grabbing and we're all taking. And we desperately need to find how do we bring this world back into balance again. Mass motorization. I have never seen so many tuk-tuks, so many motorbikes, ever. And all of them are using fuel, aren't they? They're all making some kind of emission. So if you can see here, mass motorization in emerging countries means that there will be more than 3 billion, imagine that, 3 billion vehicles on the planet by 2050. Right now we have about 1 billion. Can you imagine any more tuk-tuks on your road? Any more taxis? Where? The world economy could more than double our size in 2050, far outstripping population growth due to continued technology-driven productivity improvements. Globalization, exchange of goods and services. 90% of the worldwide stock of large predatory fish are already depleted. You think how many shark are being eaten up, whale, to make various glues and blubber from the whale fats. Where are those large predatory fish that are actually keeping our ocean in equilibrium? 75% of the natural ecosystems on which we depend will be depleted. no platinum. In actual fact, Johannesburg, which is a major mining area in South Africa, they actually say that it's hollow under the ground because there's so many tunnels from mining. 50% of all forests that were once covered are going to now be cleared for farmland. As much as that might sound productive, okay, we don't have forests, we have food, but we need forests, we need air, we need to purify the air. So the competition for food, water, and land is going to continuously intensify. I hope that's not an indication that we've already spoken too much. And you know what those three elements need? The world is going to be continuously at war. Countries are going to be at war with each other because that is what we're fighting for. So as we keep crowding the earth, we're creating an unsustainable earth. The speed at which we're using things up, we're using it faster than what it can renew itself, what it can regenerate itself. So, what does sustainability mean? Let's look at a definition. It's the opposite of unsustainable. And it's how do we prevent the depletion of natural resources in such a way that we can maintain an ecological balance? How do we keep it available? How do we keep it in motion? How do we keep it as being an asset? So sustainability really is about the future. It's about your future, the future of our children and their children. What will be left for them? What water will they drink? What forests will they walk in and play in? And I've labeled this as the age of consumerism. We just want to buy and take as much as we can, use it up and throw it away. And this is what we call the linear economy. We take, we make, we waste, and we throw away. And there is really no such thing as throwing it away. Everything has to go somewhere. While we've been traveling on the roads, there's some areas where the waste is terrible. Waste brings diseases. It brings decay to a society. How do we minimize or reuse that waste? And this brings us to a concept called the circular economy. Instead of throwing it away, instead of it ending up in a landfill, how do we give it a second life? How do we make what we're throwing away as an input, as a raw material for something else? So instead of using virgin products, instead of using new resources, how can we use what we've already had? And this circular economy is based on recycling, reusing, repurposing, refurbishing, using it again and again and again. So, in our faculty, or in our university, we have a team of students that designed a greenhouse. And the whole greenhouse was made of plastic. So these plastic bottles were all pushed into each other. They were threaded onto wire, and the wire was tied from a top frame to a bottom frame, and so you had all these panels millions of bottles, making a greenhouse. A way of reusing these bottles and getting them out of landfill. If you're going to make a liquid product, let's say you're going to make dish liquid, why can't you use those bottles again? You're going to make a shampoo or a hand wash, collect those bottles. Packaging costs a lot of money. Make more profit. Recycle. Use what's already available. This circular economy lends itself to how do we share? So a good example would be in South Africa, taxis are very much, only in the city. There's no taxis readily available in the suburbs. So people who live in the suburbs all go to work with their own cars. So if you imagine every single one of us had our own vehicle and we were all coming to the university in our own vehicle, versus if we had lift clubs and 4 of us came together in a vehicle and every 4 people traveled in a vehicle. Okay, the impact of that over time adds up. How do we share? How do we lease? And I'm going to show you something just now, and it will really explain to you why leasing is a very, very good option to explore. And then we've already mentioned the other R's. The bottom line here, we need to reduce our waste. We need to start being smarter at what we use, how we use it, and how we can post-use it. This is our linear economy, our take, make, use, throw away, waste mentality. All of us are guilty of this. It's too much hard work to take your bottle to a recycling depot. Just throw it away. How do we change? How do we now bring that waste, prevent it from landing in a wasteful? How do we use it again? How do we bring it back into the production life cycle? By recycling, by refurbishing, by reusing it, by maintaining it. Regular maintenance prevents things from breaking down and gives them a longer lifespan. I'm just going to show you this video quickly, so just watch this.
Living systems have been around for a few billion years and will be around for many more. In the living world, there's no landfill. Instead, materials flow. One species' waste is another's food. Energy is provided by the sun. Things grow, then die, and nutrients return to the soil safely. And it works. Yet as humans, we've adopted a linear approach. We take, we make, and we dispose. A new phone comes out, so we ditch the old one. Our washing machine packs up, so we buy another. Each time we do this, we're eating into a finite supply of resources and often producing toxic waste. It simply can't work long term. So what can? If we accept that the living world's cyclical model works, can we change our way of thinking so that we too operate a circular economy? Let's start with the biological cycle. How can our waste build capital rather than reduce it? By rethinking and redesigning products and components and the packaging they come in, we can create safe and compostable materials that help grow more stuff. As they say in the movies, no resources have been lost in the making of this material. So what about washing machines, mobile phones, fridges? We know they don't biodegrade. Here, we're talking about another sort of rethink, a way to cycle valuable metals, polymers and alloys so they maintain their quality and continue to be useful beyond the shelf life of individual products. What if the goods of today became the resources of tomorrow? It makes commercial sense. Instead of the throwaway and replace culture we become used to, we'd adopt a return and renew one, where products and components are designed to be disassembled and regenerated. One solution may be to rethink the way we view ownership. What if we never actually owned our technologies? We simply licensed them from the manufacturers. Now, let's put these two sides together. Imagine if we could design products to come back to their makers, their technical materials being reused and their biological parts increasing agricultural value. And imagine that these products are made and transported using renewable energy. Here we have a model that builds prosperity long term. And the good news is, there are already companies out there who are beginning to adopt this way of working. But the circular economy isn't about one manufacturer changing one product. It's about all the interconnecting companies that form our infrastructure and economy coming together. It's about energy. It's about rethinking the operating system itself. We have a fantastic opportunity to open new perspectives and new horizons. Instead of remaining trapped in the frustrations of the present, with creativity and innovation, we really can rethink and redesign our future.
If you just take a moment to think about that, that is actually quite remarkable. So imagine, just like your vehicle, when you wanted to buy a new vehicle, you trade the old one in. You want to buy a new cell phone, you trade the old one in. Don't just throw it away or put it in your bottom drawer. They can then upgrade it, refurbish it, and keep it back in the cycle again. You need a new washing machine, you need a new TV. Whether it's dead or alive, trade it in. Get some money back for it. Similarly to like Coca-Cola takes the glass bottles back and uses the glass bottles again, cleans them, fills them up. They can do exactly the same with your broken appliances.
Living systems have been around for a few billion.
So there are 8 key elements that we need to just quickly look at when we talk about the circular economy. And the first one is, how do we regenerate resources? So one of the things that I've noticed riding around Nigeria is that nearly every single roof of a building is made of zinc. Why? Is there not a better material that we could use with all the plastic that's around? Can we not make plastic tiles and make tiles for roofs? Can we not make tiles from rubber or the tires that are landing up in landfills and make rubber tiles? What is the alternative? And that's why I say this is a country so full of hope, because every time you look around and you see a problem, the engine should start turning in your mind and saying, what if? What is the alternative? How can I make this better? And there's so many of those. So this is a great example. I've seen so much bamboo in your country. Instead of making the toothbrush handles with plastic, you can make them with bamboo. Because in real life, the plastic handle doesn't even do the job. So why do you want to spend so much money on the handle that doesn't even perform any function? This is a farm in South Africa, and it really just follows a circular process. So the actual, they grow oranges to compost. The orange skins get made into cow food, and so every part of that orange farm, everything is either put back into use in a different way of getting more trees, more fruit growing. What about stretching the lifetime? Those who own a vehicle, when last did you maintain it? When last did you send it for a service? Or do you just wait until it breaks down? If we look after it, before it actually breaks down, we can make it last longer. So this is one of our partner countries, Kenya, and they have got a great e-waste program where they are recycling dead computers and either repairing them again and putting them back to use, or they're extracting the minerals, the gold and the copper out of those computers and selling that. This is right here in Nigeria. So you might be familiar with this project. So they're simply using old shipping containers. Shipping containers that may not be good and fit for purpose anymore. Perhaps they're leaking, perhaps they're dented, perhaps they're rusting, and they're now being put into a house market. And this is great because you don't even need a foundation. So you don't need to be digging and underpinning for a foundation. This is one of our projects that we have going in Kenya. So this man has made reusable sanitary towels. The disposable sanitary towels, disposable nappies, never ever biodegrade. So if we can use something that we could reuse multiple times, that's what we should be aiming for. And then, how do we use waste as a typical to the example that I gave you just now about the water bottle. This is a Netcare, big hospital conglomerate that we have in South Africa, and they started an initiative where they take the drip bags, you know, the drips that they give you intravenously in the hospital. They take those plastic bags and they recycle them into school shoes. Okay. Because similarly, they will never biodegrade when they land up in a landfill. This is a project right in Kenya where they are also melting down and creating a slush and then putting additives into it like sand and ash to make poles, fencing poles. What is great about this, the termites will never eat it. So you're not going to have rotting poles. This is also a project down in the Eastern Cape in South Africa. This is the very, very first road built using plastic bottles. So they made this with white plastic milk bottles that we have in South Africa. And they built a road with it. Could you imagine if we could fix all the roads in Nigeria with plastic? Wow. This is a project right on our campus. And the students go and collect pieces of hand soap from the guest houses and the hotels, and they make it into a slush and make toilet bowl cleaner with it. So you can imagine the nice smell in the toilet as well as the cleaning agent of it. This is also a project in South Africa. So with all these motorbikes and tuk-tuks that you've got, there must be loads and loads of tubes that get thrown away. Tires that get blown out. You can see the handle and the underlining is made of the tire, the tube. This is made of banners. So if you look at this banner that you see up here, a date on it. This is for the 2 to 9 April 2024. What is going to happen to this banner when the 9th of April is gone? Prof, what are you going to do with the banner? Can somebody keep bags with them? Okay. We need to start thinking about design. future. I love this. This is your homeland. This is a Nigerian initiative. This shoe, you can see the white sole and the black can be separated. So you could have a black tacky, a white tacky, a green tacky, and you use one sole. So you see how the shoes can interchange? The sole is made out of recycled plastic. They're detachable. So you can take the black part of the shoe off, you can put your red one on, tomorrow you can take the red one off and put your green one on. And so you could have multiple colors on one sole. Have you seen this around here? You need to, this is one of your initiatives in your country. This is something that we have back home, and it's simply the spoon is made out of a wafer biscuit. So when you finish eating with the spoon, you then eat the spoon. Okay, so it's like a biscuit. This is another cafe that I found down on my travels in Cape Town. So instead of using plastic straws, this Italian man has made long pieces of macaroni, and they're using macaroni as a straw, which even means if you throw it down, it's completely, but the insects of the earth will eat it up. And then we need to perhaps rethink the business model. How do we do things differently? And I've given you an example here of 5 entrepreneurs. So we just take a few minutes to watch this video.
African solutions to African problems. Hi everyone, it's KB Taiwo from the Africa Network, and in this video we're going to be taking a quick look at 5 exciting African entrepreneurs that are finding innovative ways to solve the issues affecting their local communities. Number 5, Intabise Musia, Sierra Leone. Born and bred in the outskirts of the Alexandria Township in South Africa, regular power outages meant that the young Intabise was often forced to make do with a flickering candlelight while studying for final high school exams. Fully aware that her experience was one faced by millions of students across the continent, she channeled her frustration into solving this problem. While still a student at Columbia University in the United States, she began work along with co-founders Eric Silverman and Alexander Torre on a low-cost solar energy service, which would later go on to be called Easy Solar. Starting their operations in Sierra Leone, where almost 90% of the population had limited to no access to electricity, Easy Solar introduced a pay-as-you-go solar energy service specially designed for low-income customers. Today, Easy Solar supply, install, and service a range of solar systems, from solar panels to solar inverters and solar energy storage batteries. Easy Solar has also expanded its operations to Liberia and has plans to expand into neighboring Guinea very soon. At number 4 is Jacob Rugano, Kenya. Rugano's story is one of turning pain into power. Following the tragic death of several members of his family in an accident involving a drunk lorry driver, Rugano started a tech company dedicated to reducing accidents on African roads. His company, Africa Track, installed vehicle tracking devices that record and feed back key information on how vehicles are being driven. Thanks to its innovative software, companies can now monitor their employees' driving behaviors, which enables these companies to put measures in place to reduce reckless driving and road accidents caused by their employees. And that's not all. Africa Track's technology also helps to combat crime, as it enables vehicle owners to locate and remotely disable their vehicle in the event that they are stolen. Now with offices in Kenya, South Africa, and Nigeria, Africa Track's vision is to expand their reach to every corner of the continent. So please watch this space. Number 3, Diana Ongari, Kenya. Burdened by the seemingly endless list of problems in the country's healthcare system, This young medical student put aside her dream of becoming a neurosurgeon and has chosen instead to trailblaze change and reform in the Kenyan healthcare system. In 2016, she co-founded CLGIE4YEJC, a digital platform that facilitates the direct distribution of drugs to patients with chronic diseases. Using the company's IC-Cure app, patients are able to place orders for drugs which are delivered on the very same day. The company also runs its checkups medical centers, which provide efficient and accurate low-cost diagnostics that save patients time and money through the effective use of modern technology. The company claims to have distributed medical supplies worth over $200,000 in the last year and currently operates a total of 5 clinics across rural and urban Kenya. Number 2, Chinedu Azodo, Nigeria. With the city of Lagos being home to 40% of all cars registered in Nigeria, the movement of people and goods around the city can be a serious ordeal. But where others saw problems, Chinedu Azodo saw opportunity. He started Metro Africa Express, a motorbike hailing service that allows passengers or packages to move around Lagos conveniently at the tap of a button. And over for motorbikes, if you like. Azodo and co-founder Adetayo Bamilo first came up with the idea while working on a school project at MIT. They both moved to Lagos in 2014, starting the business with just 5 members of staff and 3 motorbike riders. Now one of the 100 fastest growing SMEs in Nigeria and part of the World Bank's Digital Acceleration Program, the company now employs over 70 people and has over 1,000 bike riders on its books. Finally, occupying the #1 spot on our list is Bilikis Adebiyi Abiola, Nigeria. One issue that most African cities have in common is the lack of effective waste disposal. Walk around almost any major city in sub-Saharan Africa, and you'll be sure to find piles of rubbish scattered around the streets, gutters, and local markets. More than just making our streets unpleasant to look at, this is also a matter of public health. Facing the problem head-on, Bilikis Adebiyi Abiola co-founded Recyclers, a social enterprise based in Lagos, Nigeria, that works to clean up low-income communities by offering incentives in exchange for their waste. The business model is very simple. Local residents simply have to bag their recyclable waste ahead of the weekly pickup by the Recyclers' specially constructed cargo bikes. Participating households are given points for every kilogram recycled, which can then be redeemed for electronics, household items, trading classic, and even cash. Once collected, the waste is then sorted, processed, and recycled into products such as organic compost from food waste, raw material pellets from plastic waste, and tissue paper from paper waste. Since it was launched in 2012, Recyclers has created over 200 jobs, collected 5,000 tons of recyclable waste, paid out over $100,000 in incentives, and rolled out their service to over 17,000 subscribers, with an additional 200 new subscribers joining every month. The company was also recently awarded €200,000 in prize money after winning the King Badman Foundation African Development Prize for 2019, beating over 240 other applicants to the award. With their base in a city that generates over 15,000 tons of waste per day, you can be sure that Recyclers will continue to grow from strength to strength over the next few years. Share your thoughts in the comment section.
If they can do it, what's stopping you? And then, of course, I think what your university is synonymous with is your digital technology. How much, those of you that are lecturers in this room, how much paper are you generating? How much paper are you printing on notes? Is there a better way to do it? Could you upload it onto a platform and rather use electronic notes? How can you reduce your footprint and save the forests? This is an app in Uganda, and these girls that developed this app, it's similar to an Uber, but it's an Uber that picks up your waste. And this company that picks up your waste, so you literally call them on your app like Uber, they come, they weigh it, they pay you, and then they take it to go and get processed and recycled further. And then the last one is creating joint ventures. One person can't always make a great impact on their own. To a Mumi, who's got a farming enterprise in South Africa, she started a cooperation with other farmers, and together she buys their produce from them so that she has enough produce to take to market. One of the collaborations that you can see is not only with government or training organizations, but the impact of the two universities, us and you, how much we can achieve together. And that is one of the United Nations goals. It's actually goal number 17, partnerships. So in conclusion, I just want to read this closing remark. Essentially, sustainability in the circular economy aim to better use resources, close the loops of resource flow by recovering as much as possible, and prevent waste and pollution through better design. The emphasis here is so that we can extract, make, use, and repurpose the materials that we produce. Could you imagine if all of our sewage made biogas to generate electricity? Our rivers would be clean, our water would be drinkable, and we wouldn't have electricity interruptions. Thank you.
For the next presentation, I have the honor and privilege to present to us this afternoon Professor J.O.S.O. He is a current emeritus professor of so many years. If I have to go through his career path, it's a long story. Yeah, but he's a mentor to many. He has supervised and graduated several PhD students. Surprisingly, may I tell you that Professor Kubala was also his PhD student. A round of applause for Baba. He has worked in the University of Botswana for many years, and he worked at the Tshwane University of Technology, Pretoria, South Africa, and is currently at the Durban University of Technology in South Africa. He has done research across the globe. A PhD scholar of Glasgow University. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Professor Jeff.
Good afternoon, everybody. I will also want to make an apology on behalf of our team. Justice mentioned that you were actually gathered together expecting us yesterday. I want to apologize. There are some issues that arose that we need to engage in. We're here using LAUTECH as an anchor, visiting 8 universities. But our primary engagement with LAUTECH, as from tomorrow now, Justice will be leading us to different places. So please bear with us. We'll do better next time. And we are hoping that at the end of today, you will see that Japan is out more today, not having us yesterday. So thank you very much. The way we made the arrangement for the presentation is that Professor Lugara will bring that equity paradigm, you know, which is something generic to everything. Then we are zooming down gradually. We ask learners to make that presentation, to whet your appetite, you know, for this that we are presenting. It's been going to 2.5 to 3 years now since we have been together on this project. And the intention of my presentation is to, on behalf of the team from Lautech, from SHU in the UK, KSU, Kenya, Innovate Durban in South Africa, and then for DUT, which is the hub of our project. I'm making this presentation so that it will go to more grassroots. It's great to meet Professor Violet for the first time. We have been interacting virtual for the past almost 3 years now, 2.5 to 3 years. So it's a great reunion, see other people that we knew before. The project is under the British Council Innovation for African Universities program, and we are given the opportunity to select what African problem we would like to address through our project. We chose climate change and youth unemployment as being the two grand challenge. We call it the two challenge that we are addressing in our project. That is why we have titled the project Carbon Literacy for Youth Employability and Job Creation in Sub-Saharan Africa. As a kind of outcome of the project, you have the subtitle Climate Change Literacy for Green Innovation and Entrepreneurship, Curriculum, Research and Innovation for Higher Education Institutions in Sub-Saharan Africa. So I'm just trying to explain the genesis of the subtitling as it is. That's my agenda, the next moment that we have. We look at what we are currently running through. We look at the IAU project, Carbon Literacy for Youth Employability and Job Creation, as the acronym CLGIE4YEJC. Then the project rationale, the project problem statement that we are tackling. We are all researchers. Problem statement is very important so that we'll be able to know why we're doing what we're doing and how we're doing it and why the delivery that we have. While we go on a kind of an odyssey of the project, odyssey is just a journey through with various ups and downs until we reach where we are now. I'll look at the issue of open collaboration opportunities. Professor Lu has really shown you what we can gain through collaboration and some concluding remarks. Now, with regards to the workshop series we are running, which we have titled as Knowledge Exchange and Project Resource Dissemination Workshop Series. The purpose, as the title of workshop written, is knowledge exchange, which we have been having now, and of course for you to know more what we have been doing over the years. We had a similar workshop series at the Sheffield University in the UK, November last year. And this April, the town of Lauten to host us for similar. But as we go from one content to the other, we vary the modality or modus operandi of the workshop series. And of course, for a date yet to be fixed, this year we are hoping to be in Kenya for similar workshop, so that we are able to reach wider audience than our 5 partners that we already have. Then of course, this has to be a continuous thing whereby we spread this across sub-Saharan Africa, as the British Council in Uganda wants us to do. Thank you very much. Now, the program under which we have our project has those 2 broad goals: to strengthen the capacity of universities to play their role as an ecosystem player in terms of producing job creators rather than job seekers. And of course, we have various ecosystem players who main focus is the support being given to new entrepreneurs, new startup players, and so support like that. The program also is meant to strengthen the capacity of the category of ecosystem player to be able to give better support for those who are starting business. Yes? It's okay. Right. Now, as it's mentioned, just for completeness, that's the list of our partners. We have 5 partner group with the UK lead, Sheffield University, Sub-Saharan African lead, Global University of Technology. We have the ecosystem player, and of course, we have our 2 other key partners, the KSU and Lauten. Now, we have to set our own goals for our partnership project, the CLGIE4YEJC, which is 1, to enhance the capacity of sub-Saharan African education institutions or youth to explore green innovation and entrepreneurship opportunities in employability, enhancement, and job creation. Second, to strengthen the capacity of our higher education institutions to integrate what we call the climate change literacy or green entrepreneurship into their academic qualifications and research and innovation niche areas. We went through those phases of our project, from problem investigation to the current workshop series that we are running. Now, why are we doing what we are doing? I know you will have picked from what was presented, the various grand challenges, the phases of Southern Africa, as well as what Lana has presented. Now, we are aware of what you call population growth of youth in sub-Saharan Africa, and which may become or turn out to be demographic dividend or a ticking time bomb, depending on our response to the youth unemployment challenge facing various countries in sub-Saharan Africa. Now, during our study, we've identified that climate change and youth employment issues, they are not only context-defined, they are interrelated. As you may be aware, our economies are mostly natural resources and climate reliant or dependent. And of course, when you see on one hand the environmental degradation effects, the challenge it poses to economic growth and employment, you see on the other hand the various adaptation or mitigation mechanisms for climate change really offer us great innovation and entrepreneurship opportunities while increasing the resilience of existing ones. Therefore, we decided as partners to provide an integrated solution to these twin grand challenges facing sub-Saharan Africa. As further rationale, looking in the context of our higher education system, we observed that literature and the dialogue forum that we organized, which involved higher education institutions and ecosystem players in our different 4 countries, Kenya, Nigeria, South Africa, and the UK, we have this evidence that I've cataloged here, the fact that we are paying lip service to the issue of entrepreneurship and climate change issues in our different universities, where we provide curriculum for this. We discover there is a disconnect between the two. We do not recognize the interrelatedness of the two. And where we have entrepreneurship programs, we find them in silos of management science institutions, and then maybe they are just offering some service courses to other departments there. Now, we see that because of this situation, we are lacking in terms of producing graduates that are entrepreneurial in their behavior, which leads them to be more of job creators than job seekers. So this is what we have obtained as rationale for running our problem investigation. Now, as to why we are doing it where we are doing it, or our methodological framework, why have we adopted that way? The reality is that globally, as Professor mentioned, education is critical. When people are knowledgeable, they are skillful, they take more intelligent decisions or response to challenges, facing them. It's common to have what they call carbon literacy or climate literacy, environmental literacy, different names they call it. Initially, we borrowed the word carbon literacy from the UK context, but we have now changed that to climate change literacy because we felt the ordinary person in our own context in Africa will resonate more with climate change literacy than talking of carbon literacy. So there is common to include people with that literacy. However, in those approach to carbon literacy is often viewed as an end in itself rather than a means to address the youth unemployment, as an end. When the training toolkit, we call it carbon literacy training toolkit, which we studied in the context of the UK, they are socio-economically contextualized or localized into the national or people group context, of providing carbon literacy. And then they do not reflect, of course, the African contextual realities. Now, this limits the ready applicability of that carbon literacy solution provided, say, in the UK context, in the African context. And of course, we need to be aware that every problem is content defined, and so will be the solution provision. So we are not blaming those who contextually are working. It's just for us to know that we need to have a sub-Saharan African contextualized solution to our climate change and youth employment training problem. So from that, we define our problem we want to address as how to leverage sub-Saharan Africa contextualized carbon literacy for youth employability and job creation in our context. Usually, as my students, doctoral students in particular, they must have a thesis argument or a thesis statement, which when they ask, why are you adopting this methodology? Why are you defining your objective this way? Why are you choosing this method? Why are you assembling this method? You can say, because I have this statement to validate. So none of my students gets away with not having a thesis statement as part of their problem statement. So we now have this as our thesis statement or research argument that a socio-economically sub-Saharan African contextualized climate change literacy can enable the leveraging of climate change literacy for youth employability and job creation in an SSA context such as Kenya, Nigeria, and South Africa. So that's our statement we're trying to validate in this project. So, for our problem investigation phase, we investigated the interrelationship between the twin challenges of climate change and youth unemployment. 2, we undertook a training on British carbon literacy for us to conduct assessment of its SSA contextualization. We didn't just go for that training just to know what it is, but there to study with knowledge the carbon literacy solution provided in the UK context. To what extent can we contextualize it? So those are 2 key elements that we undertook during our problem investigation. And as an outcome of it, we developed a framework, a model for SSA contextualization or that British contextualized training toolkit. Now, as part of that contextualization, because we are critic, the carbon literacy provided that they made it an end in itself rather than a means to an end. we now redefine or identify the concept of carbon literacy for green innovation and entrepreneurship. Now, which we have called now climate change literacy for green innovation and entrepreneurship, and now define it, extending the definition of carbon literacy by saying it's an awareness of carbon costs and impact of everyday activities and the ability and motivation to reduce emissions on an individual, organizational, community, and national basis. Now, that is where the definition of carbon literacy ends. We now extend it to say as a leverage to open up and accessing GIE opportunities for individual, community, and national socio-economic well-being. So it's our own CCL, it's a means to the end of addressing our needs through GIE opportunities. And then we concluded that phase by developing an implementation plan. The second phase is called the collaboration project phase. And when we put our head together, how do we have a collaborative solution? That integrates solution to climate change and digital employment. We created that body of knowledge, as stated. We developed on that what we call a module-enabled CL4YEJC training toolkit, which parallel that of the UK, but ours is based on our new definition of what we call CLGIE4YEJC knowledge domain. We have series of workshops to validate our thinking in the development of that CL4YEJC training toolkit. We selected youths from Kenya, Nigeria, South Africa, and conducted some training using what we have developed so that we get their feedback as a means to validate our thinking, whether this target beneficiary is exactly what we have done or not. Of course, we have developed some thematic areas for research and innovation. Remember in the title, we are talking of curriculum, research and innovation, for HEIs in Sub-Saharan Africa. We recruited postgraduate students, among which Professor Justice told you, we have one of your staff with us now, doing his PhD, selecting his topic here, looking how we can build a knowledge network, using knowledge graph, kind of model to support the training on our climate change literacy for green innovation and entrepreneurship. And of course, we established a dialogue forum during that time through what we call our community grant. And what did we do during that community building project? That's our three-stage approach. Make a plan, discussion, and then action that follows. So that's how we are able to have a dialogue forum on the idea of integrating into SSCI education institution curricula, provisioning and research and innovation agenda on each area. This idea that idea of integrating what we have developed into the academic qualifications, research and innovation, these areas, then we use a canvas kind of platform by which we engage in this discussion, planning, discussing, acting. Then we move to the phase, what's called the consolidation phase, where we now develop our original CLGIE4YEJC kit into a full-fledged curriculum, a general education curriculum, but it can be adapted for different purposes, whether general education or you want to embed it into various qualification syllabus curriculum. We develop a framework, a model for integrating this knowledge domain into academic qualifications, research and innovation niche areas. We organize a DET-hosted 1 week long curriculum development workshops. That through which we have the outcome of that CLGIE curriculum. Then we develop multimedia content, which includes a bank of nationally diverse case studies, which is currently on our platform. And of course, we enhance our Moodle platform for training toolkit to be able to train based on the expanded curriculum. Still during our consolidation phase, we had a pilot education and training workshop, drawing students from LAUTECH, from DUT, from KSU Kenya, to again test bed our thinking regards to the curriculum we have developed, and got feedback from them. I assure you it was positive response we received from them. They are well disposed to having such embedded into their curriculum or such agenda. Of course, we went further to organize a dialogue forum, drawn again our collaborators in higher education institutions and ecosystem player representatives, where we dialogue again with the newly or expanded curriculum that we have as to the integrating it into academic qualifications and such innovation areas. What are the challenges we foresee, and what are the modalities, and then what action we need to take to bring this idea to reality in our context. And of course, we started this series of workshops, knowledge and change, project resource dissemination, starting with Alliance University partner, and then now the second in the series. Of course, we have to report back to our founder. Now, I mentioned my agenda that we can just have a run through of specific things we can want to complete. I call it innovation, so I know you will be debating some things with me after this presentation. Now, we have a curriculum, framework, and model. I will show that shortly. We have CLGIE curriculum, out and eye integration framework, which is, okay, I will give detail of that shortly. Then we have, of course, our curriculum content. I'll just show you the 2 module descriptors that we develop. Then we have those thematic areas which we defined after we have gone through that. And of course, thanks to Professor Olu, we're now converted from using sustainability design thinking into what we now call sustainability ethic. We spend all the time doing that, and then Professor Ballard, Professor Justice, I have to do that behind you. on which the complete implementation of our project that is based. You can see the two curriculum module, the CCL and GIEL. You can see that. And of course, we interpassed this with problem solving. Earlier on, we included sustainability design thinking as a problem-solving thinking framework, but we have been converted, given the fact that design thinking is far, far below the current or state of the art in thinking on how we solve problems. We have, after design thinking, we have computational thinking. After computational thinking, we have computational action. And then we move to our epic. Can you see how far we are below? That's another design thinking. I was telling you that when I saw the Institute of Design Thinking, a whole several building devoted to that in National Institute in Germany, I was converted to that thinking, design thinking. But now I'm fully converted to sustainability. I'm being born again. Thank you for that. So, colleagues, you can see we have some input, as we indicated here, from those two sources. And the way this program is run, whichever way you run this as a general education or embedded to the curriculum, we see the need that we should go through the climate change literacy, and then we move to followed by green innovation entrepreneurship literacy. We do that today, and at the end of this, besides the problem-solving activities that take place at this goals, as Professor Luke mentioned, the fact that it has to be problem-centered, problem-solution-centered, rather than just theoretical matter of knowledge. Now, we have what we call the qualification-specific projects to be given, where they will now continue with that problem-solving in more concrete time. You can see this as a summative problem-solving project. It is after that we will say you are climate change literacy for green innovation entrepreneurship literate. So, just as other people say you are carbon literate, we want to say you are climate change literacy for green innovation and entrepreneurship literate. After you've gone through this. Now, just to be more specific about what we mean by qualification specific projects. You know, we will give to IT students a green computing kind of project. How can they develop an energy efficient programming project, for example? Sustainability software development project, for example. Where sustainability or energy efficiency is a core driver of their thinking solving that problem. Whereas, when we give such project to an accounting student, he has to deal with sustainability accounting project or environmental management accounting project. So that's what we mean by qualification specific projects that we give to the student. So we're diversity aware in our approach, and of course, this does represent the platform on which we implement our curriculum to make it accessible to all our partners for now. But we are thinking of migrating to having a kind of MOOC platform where we have a wider audience able to benefit from this. Our dialogue forum will continue as we meet with collaborators, we engage partners, and then we widen this partnership. This is part of what we are doing now. Imagine at the time we engage with 7 more universities in addition to LabTech. LabTech now will have this environment 7 more collaborators besides just the DUT. So we want to encourage that. This is what this framework is about. So this is what I put here from CLGIE, Sustainability Design Thinking to Sustainability Ethic, that is there. So please bear that in mind, colleagues. This is our framework for integrating this our knowledge area into academic qualifications and research and innovation niche area. Now, I've put there that this is governed that by sustainability ethic paradigm. It drives it. It drives our thinking when we are doing this training, be it in research or be it in academic qualifications. Now, we adopt the principle of diversity awareness. My colleague will bear with me the fact that when we are engaging in our curricular development and when we are looking at it, we see, though we have a lot in common, there is not much more that are particular about each institution, each nation, each sub-region of Africa that we need to take into consideration. So we have to give flexibility to allow, say, KSU Kenya to find a way of how it's contextualizing that integration into its academic qualifications. The same thing for LabTech, DUT, SHU, and even our education program, where they train, they support youngsters, youths to become entrepreneurial. They too can use this framework in their training. Then we have also the academic qualification integration. So it's wanting to integrate to the institutional context, but there are academic qualifications offered in different departments. We need to reflect the reality or the particularity of that. That's why I was talking of green computing project for computing students, while sustainability accounting or environmental accounting management for accounting students. So there's a principle of universality and particularity, what they call it a paradigm, in technology development and transfer. Why there are no universal technology of computing, for example, if you want to do programming, there are some fundamental principles that you have to follow. Whether you are doing your programming, LabTech or DUT, there are these fundamental principles that you have to follow. The various concepts, control structure in programming language, same thing, as you deal with it in your content. But when you come to the context of application of that knowledge, you want to develop a where the software have a context. You want to develop for a similar problem. You will discover that there are contextual particularities that you need to take into account to make that software you have developed, relevant, appropriate for that particular context. So we are recognized as universal. We recognize there are particularities. Things like basic concepts or basic science or climate change, for example, which is one of our knowledge units. Definitely, we cut across But when you are drawn exam, your case studies in teaching that, definitely, or the problem solving task we are giving to students to vary from Kenya to Virginia, from LAUTECH to DUT, and so on and so forth. Now, with regards to integration into research and innovation, niche areas in the different universities, it can be at the various levels as we have indicated here. And the ultimate goal is to have to establish a research and innovation niche area, which we call CLGIE4YEJC, research and innovation niche area, which of course has to be transdisciplinary, or you call it interdisciplinary, or multidisciplinary, drawing specialists from different sides of our disciplines. Now, this is just those are knowledge unit, basic science, climate change. I know maybe you didn't see it much in my diagram there, and of course, carbon emission and footprints and their role of stakeholders. We just put this there to know that we have something concrete that we have developed in terms of our curriculum content. And of course, our second module, so we say that's where we see innovation entrepreneurship, business concepts, fundamentals are there, then case studies, business development practice, and so on and so forth like that. Again, these will be contextualized as appropriate for our different higher education institutions in sub-Saharan Africa, and of course different qualifications. Now, I mentioned that we've identified some research and innovation thematic areas from which a number of our doctoral students, in particular master's students too, have selected topics, including we currently have 2 students at least in LAUTECH who are taking topic related to this area. We have quite a number in DUT, and of course in KSU also. You see, the green or sustainability computing. It's an area that you can look at. Robotic technology enabled that CLGIE4YEJC engagement, and so on and so forth. Up to a more pedagogical, oriented kind of research dealing with CLGIE4YEJC into higher education curriculum integration. It could be something that somebody understand conduct study where they look at the diversity that we need to grapple with, and how we can ensure that whatever curriculum is designed for an institution is contextually relevant. Now, this is just some of our students that we listed here. You can see you are clearly somewhere there. That's number 1. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah, you can see there. That's one of your staff here. Luta is from Kenya, Maraga is from Kenya, SL from Ghana. You can see the different things that they're doing. And then J.O. is from here, and of course Siak also from here. Babasco is from DUT, is a master's student. So these are just completing that is currently ongoing as we have. Just to round up some way, I need to touch on the issue, what I call the disciplinarity paradigm in CLGIE academic collaboration. Now, I just focus on the paradigm of interdisciplinarity and transdisciplinarity to see areas whether intra-LAUTECH collaboration, from one faculty to the other, department to the other, or international, intra-Nigeria collaboration, and so on and so forth like that. Let's just quickly run through that. I just look at this Venn diagram. When you are talking that you're operating interdisciplinarily. Now, you see the Venn diagram, you see that portion of intersection. Yeah, there you have that discipline, you have discipline A, B, and C, is what you call it there. This interdisciplinarity is providing a thinking or a paradigm for us to develop collaborative qualifications, whether IS and computing, or IS and accounting, and so on and so forth like that. So this is where you bring it to bear, drawing good of knowledge from accounting, from computing, maybe from management science, and then say we want sustainability management accounting, or environmental accounting management, qualification in our faculty, for example. So, interdisciplinarity, we are drawing knowledge from this, and then we now have to imagine hybrid knowledge, or knowledge theories, knowledge fusion, that give us computational linguistics, for example, come from the linguistic and computing fundamentally. And of course, we have a lot with our machine learning ability to do that. A lot we have here, and you see an example here between computing and arts, where we are aware the theory, automata theory, or theory of common languages is based on the linguistic theory where we develop grammar, around Chomsky language hierarchy, theory that we have. So we can have imagined hybrid qualification by operating using interdisciplinarity kind of paradigm. Transdisciplinary. I know you may have known some of these things before, but we just need to bear how it comes to picture with regards to what we have done. This time around, there is no Venn diagram with a common overlapping intersection area. There, you see A discipline B, they have a repertoire of methodology for solving problems. And we've got this problem we want to solve, research-based, we draw our methodology from different disciplines to have a method assembly or hybrid method which we want to solve that problem. In fact, nowadays, I think you find a problem that you have a one-disciplinary method being used to solve it. Even in the field of computing, usually we do method assembly, for us to be able to solve a particular problem. And that's where we try to look at complementarity in the various models of solving problems in the same discipline. And then we exploit the synergy of that complementarity to provide an hybrid solution that none of the existing model solution could model methods from these different ADLC who solve there. And of course, in doing that, there must be existence of complementarity. Otherwise, we are going to just complicate our problem solution if it does not exist. You don't combine two things when one or two methods, when one has no relevance with the weakness of the other one, has no relevance with the strength of the other. That's what I'm talking about, complementarity. Where you look, where does the strength of method A, method from discipline A, combined with method with discipline B, the strength of this address the weakness of this, and of course, the same thing with this. Then we now have an hybrid or emergent method for solving that problem, drawing our method from different disciplines. Now, in concluding, academic collaboration, as Professor mentioned, is very, very critical. We exploit opportunity that our project has provided through CLGIE4YEJC knowledge of a lot. International model, we mentioned what you can do with international paradigm or model for solving problem. Or transitionally, we have to start thinking, our thinking has to be problem-centered rather than being discipline-centered. That's really the key element of transitionality. So that, how can we provide solution to this problem? And we look around disciplines, we see, Professor Bailey from our heads has expertise in this in their discipline to identify this solution method, computer scientists, got his own, and so on and so forth like that. Leonard from enterpreneurship, he's got the specialty. We can combine all those things to be able to operate with transdisciplinarity paradigm. It demands reorientation, the emphasizing what my two colleagues said in their presentation in our mission to teaching, research, innovation, and our engagement, we call it community engagement in our own context. The part is that your research solution will provide, your research result will provide solution to some community engagement problem. You could develop, identify some research problem while you are teaching programming in a class. Why am I still not understanding this program? One of my master's students developed a metaphor-driven model or pedagogical approach for difficult concepts in computing. And that kind of thing, demand the orientation for us to think differently, to make use of the ethic as being recommended to us. Intellectually, we have to get ourselves out of silence or break our boxes, where we are saying we are thinking out of boxes as we are today, for us to be able to explore this paradigm of problem solution, transitionality. Abstinence from the fear of crossing what you call in South Africa, crossing the chicken line. When you are afraid, when I expand my boundary, I'm fearing the unknown, that kind of thing. That shouldn't be the case. Let the boundary breakers, let the board to approach solutions to our problem with confidence that we are able to provide African solution to African problems. Well, what we have done is not without challenges. I'm bringing this up, having managed the complexity of our five partner group for the past 2.5 to 3 years. We have to manage diversity. It's a key element. We want to go and collaborate, be open-minded, be ready to be criticized. Since I came now, Prime Justice was not happy with me until yesterday, and I made him realize that silence of time is golden. Then he told me, "Proper, I'm angry with you because of this, But we ended up laughing out of it. And today, we are together doing things like that. We will disagree. There are babies, of how we see things in our institutions. when you are collaborating with other institutions, their content is different from your institutional context. So those guys say, why is this guy meeting this way? It's under the policy or procedural constraints imposed by the institution. It's not even as chosen that way. So let's bear all this in mind. And of course, looking at Africa generally, it is sad to say we were supposed to have Professor Bale and Professor Justice at DUT last year, May, June. Then the visa issue. Later we said, okay, let's move it to July. The first week in July rather than May, June. Unfortunately, I was telling my South African colleagues, they are asking me for 10,000 rand bribe for each of them to get visa within 3 days. I said we did not budget for that. So we have that challenge. The constraint is a pity. That's the case. But I'm delighted to say that maybe since the new government or Buhari government, there's to be a kind of change. Nigeria want to play this big brother properly. Our two South African colleagues, they applied for business visa on arrival. We should be ready in 48 hours. And even when we have a backup, I have to engage our consular general in Johannesburg. Again, this don't work out. My people are going to fly down from Lebanon. They say, I'm ready to give them visa while they're there. Just within that period. And it's quite exciting. So we're looking forward to that, Africa, intra-Africa collaboration, for us to collaborate with some African problems. If our political leaders, they are the ones creating this constraint for us, but we should show for that the law we can do when we have the right leadership, be it politically, socially, and lives. Now, I just want to commend the concluding finally, the British Council. There's a bit of shifting paradigm. The dictum before is whoever pays the piper, he stays the tune. So they provided us with funding, but they did not dictate to us what problem is to solve. They said, go and look for African problem that we want to solve. And that was said in the beginning, we chose climate change and youth unemployment. They didn't dictate to us. So, whereas in the past, they will provide the funding and they say, no, we want you to, this is the problem we want you to address. And maybe within that, so many consultants will come from the UK who will take maybe half of the money. But that's not the case this time around. So I'm just bringing this out that we enjoy that paradigm shift in providing African solution to African problem through financial enablement of the British Council, but we should take responsibility as Africans to provide African solutions to African problems. It shouldn't be external people who will be doing this. In fact, what the British Council is saying when we are discussing our community of practice, they say really, it's a shame that this initiative doesn't come from our governments. But rather, the British Council said, I have innovation for African universities program. I'm going to provide this funding. Go and identify African problem, and we want to provide African solution. I must just emphasize that we need to take responsibility of this. The platform we developed, we have all those modules here, all that information are there about, which made them accessible to our colleagues in our partnership. I wouldn't be able to take time going to the technicality of going to the platform now. But they are just bringing this to say we have something concrete that we've made available as a resource for now for our partners, while later we want to explain to as many
Thank you. Thank you very much. Prof, you can have your seat. You're sweating.
No, it's good.
Another round of applause for Prof. Yeah, it was, you can sit here so that you enjoy the class. Yeah, it's not easy. I told you Baba have been, Baba celebrated his 70 last year or so. Yeah, so it's, you can imagine at that age, still standing for over an hour or two and deliberating. Yeah, these are the fathers in academics. That was a nice presentation. But I've been able to summarize the carbon literacy project. It's a 2.5 year to 3 years project that have been ongoing, and he just gave the summary. So it's not easy to have given that concise summary, but that was quite, unique and concise. I don't have to go over everything again, but he has talked to us about carbon literacy for youth employability and job creation. Now, in the process of this project, he told us this project is a British Council-funded project under the IAU Innovation for African Universities. Now, this project is ongoing, so, I mean, when they did a call for a proposal, the partnership applied, many universities applied, only few were chosen, and then this group presented the project on carbon literacy. And so the projects have been on since 2021, September thereabouts. And in the course of this project, the group have been able to come up with climate change literacy for green innovation and entrepreneurship. A curriculum has been developed out of this. Several workshops have been held. Students have been integrated into the project and trained. And a lot of innovations and innovative topics that research students can work on is already have been highlighted. And several benefits for higher educational institutions for Sub-Saharan African institutions. Now, so much has been said during the presentation. This project have gone through several stages. This is the I can't say this is the final stage. The stage we are in now currently is the knowledge exchange and project result dissemination stage. So this is exactly the stage we are in now. And like Prof have said, this workshop I've held in South Africa, has held in UK, this is the turn of Nigeria, so left with Kenya. Okay, so so much have been said, and we're also seeing opportunities for youth employability, opportunities to leverage on green entrepreneurship and innovation. So all these are areas where we can leverage, we can collaborate, we can research, and then we can also exchange knowledge. I hope that our students are tapping into this presentation, that of Lana and that of Professor Lubara. So they should start thinking green, start thinking entrepreneurial, start thinking of what we can do with all this knowledge to solve problems within and around us. A lot of postgraduate students are already on this project, and many more will still join. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, another round of applause for Okay, questions for Professor Ojo. While we were having the section, we have Professor J.P. Oladosu walking in. He's the head of department, computer engineering. Then, who else came in? I think that's, yeah, Professor Oladosu. Okay, how many questions? Okay, one. Any other question? Yeah, I'd like to also proudly say, because we said we are socializing, and then Mama saw his lecturer, Deji saw our lecturer, everybody. Yeah, I'd like to also say that proudly Professor J.P. Oladosu of my course PhD student, and Professor and the head of department computer engineering. Okay? Yeah. You are raising up a question, 2 questions. Okay, let's have the question. Any other question? Okay.
I want to especially welcome my Oga, Professor Ojo, to Nigeria, especially to Lautech. Once again, I say good afternoon, sir. And I want to say welcome to the team.
Madam, can you tell us how many years ago was that?
I graduated in 86.
Oh my God. Some people here were not yet born, or maybe still primary school.
Now, thank you for this presentation, sir. For some of us and for the students' sake, we are talking about green innovation, entrepreneurship, and Professor Justice now telling the students for them to be thinking how they keep themselves into it. Now, what is the relationship between this green innovation and entrepreneurship? I think from there, students can now understand what they need to do. Personally, I can now understand what area I need to get into. The relationship between the green innovations and entrepreneurship.
Thank you very much. Yes, the next question.
My question is, it's quite unfortunate that year out we have programs like this and
we have what?
Programs like this, coming up, seminars and others on green innovations and stuff related to this. But unfortunately, after the seminars and stuff like that, it vanished and we hear nothing about it again. So my question is, what are you doing differently? How are you trying to address the key? You have to understand that Nigeria is a distinct country on its own. We have our own personal problems that is quite different from African problems. We have to address it in a special way that it has to come down and it has to be beneficial to those that really need this. So you are talking about green innovation, sustainability and others. The cost of installing a solar panel for your home in Nigeria is nothing less than 250,000 naira. How can a rural household afford that? What is your organization trying to do about the price and in collaboration with companies or organizations that are into this that can provide it in a lesser price for rural, for a greener and for a greener country? The second one is in Lautech. The number one problem of most students who are ready to learn is electricity.
Okay, hold on. So that the prof can get the question.
Can you summarize
Prof, you said you should summarize.
It's the student that can summarize the question.
The problem of most Nigerian students is electricity. You want to do research, there's no electricity. You have to go to where there's electricity to charge, to do stuff like that. So what in Lautech, if you are to come to light class and there is no light, there's only one hall that has solar panel. And there you have various distractions and others. So what is the organization trying to do about sensitizing institutions was having solar power systems.
All right. Thank you. Did you get green innovation and
the relationship
and entrepreneurship?
Yes.
Okay. What we have termed GIE, Green Innovation Entrepreneurship. If you see presentation from London, it covers that area. How do we think sustainability in our problem-solving activity? E.g., you want to set up a business. How do you apply the various principal ideas and products that you are not creating waste? You are not depleting things without putting things back there. So the entrepreneurship that is based on the principle of sustainability or green economy, you mentioned circular economy, for example. So that kind of innovation entrepreneurship that is driven by sustainability thinking is what we call green innovation entrepreneurship. So the various businesses that it shows. So those are kind of businesses that green innovation entrepreneurship can lead to. So that's why we put green innovation entrepreneurship opportunities, that is offered there. And from the module descriptors that I put there, you can see some of the knowledge there, very unique media, green business concept, green business development. So it keeping somebody to not just to be entrepreneurial, but entrepreneurial who is driven to solve climate change problem while is enhancing his business profitability and so forth. For something that may easily resonate with somebody, you train students who's into green computing, he could now start to be a consultant in organizations and how they can make the organization energy efficient, particularly those who are using cloud computing or where you have a lot of cloud infrastructure. How do we make these energy efficient? So that kind of business, definitely. How do we avoid waste? That kind of business require thinking green innovation entrepreneurship. I don't know whether you got into that. Did they understand you well? Very respected.
Not really.
Not really.
Let me just contribute to what Baba has said, and then to also bring it down to the level of our students. Now, all we have been saying and all that Prof have presented is that every activity we do, either in business or in life, that generates or contributes emission of carbon is destroying our ecology. So if you now do activities such that you are reducing emission of carbon, that concept is called green. So now, how do you generate entrepreneurship from it? When Lana presented, we saw a woman that collects waste bottles. Now she is converting. Now she's doing a green business, or she's doing an entrepreneur that encourages sustainability of the environment. So instead of all these bottles being burnt and then we add more carbon to the environment, or all this, like, I think, is it Professor? Somebody was talking about biodegradable. These bottles, for the next 15 to 20 years, they are not going to. So now somebody collects them and use them to do shoes. Somebody collect them and use them to collect tires and use tires to make tires. So you have created an industry, and that industry is reducing the emission. So we are not combining green and entrepreneurship. I think that's what you needed to. Yeah. So there are many industries that can be created that will be green, and then it is creating an entrepreneur, creating employment, and creating. I think that's what we're trying to say.
Now, like what this, my brother is trying to.
Yeah, let us know what just you said. This is a laptop.
Yes.
Okay. This laptop is emitting power.
Yes.
And then in the process, for every laptop, you will need 4 to 6 plants to absorb that power to give oxygen. Humans need oxygen. Trees, and that's where the green is coming from. Trees need carbon. So if those carbons are not absorbed by those trees, they make hazard to human. And that's why we want to make sure that now we need 12 trees around here to absorb emissions from this laptop. And that's the idea of green. That how we need to find ways to reduce carbon emissions in our society so that we can minimize the effect of carbon dioxide that those machines produce. The number of printers we have here can is even more than 6 trees. So that's why we say we don't need printing anymore. So we don't use printer to produce carbon. And that's where the green technique is.
Yeah, right.
And this business come out of innovation. You have an idea, you bring that idea which is based on I must serve this act. So they want financial stability or great business.
And for our students having ideas or staff having idea of such a business, like what he rightly said, it has to be funded. How will he or she all get the money? It's a good idea to be had, yes.
Run after problem. Money will run after.
So I think that's the beauty of a circular economy, where you use waste as your input. So you're not buying a virgin product, you're not buying a resource that has to be mined or anything that has to be manufactured. You're using what's already in the system. So for example, there's a statistic that says that even if we don't, all the clothing factories in the world shut down, for 10 years there will be enough clothes for the world. That is how much surplus there is. So for example, if you wanted to make children's clothes, you could ask each person in this room to go and empty their cupboard and bring the clothes they don't use. You could start your business. So that is why a circular economy is such a great impetus for entrepreneurial development, because you don't need that big capital investment. Because too often we use no money as our excuse of not taking action.
To make it cheaper. To make it cheaper.